Hello and welcome, Draft Premier League fans. Today, we're going over the rest of the regular season, which is going to be the Week 6 games that we didn't have time for last stream, and then we're going to do all of the Week 7 games as well. But we're going to start off with the end of Week 6. I'm back from vacation. Vacation was awesome. But yeah, we're ready to get back into this. Let me go ahead and link the stream right here. If you want to join my Discord for live notifications, links in the description. Also, link for the Draft Premier League server is also in the description. This current week we're in right now is actually the finals. So definitely wouldn't want to miss those live games, so check that out. Okay, now it is all plugged, and we can get started. Oh, my thing is on the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. Alright, let me get things all situated. Okay. Week 6, this is going to be Trick of Eye versus the Big Dogs. So at this time, Big Dogs are, I believe, #1 in the standings. Or if not, they're like very high up there. Right, definitely one of the powerhouses of the regular season. Whereas Trick of Eye, they are completely winless, right? Trying to get some points on the board. At this point, playoff hopes are pretty dry. But there is still something to play for. I think if they win both of their weeks and then some other people lose, that it's still like mathematically possible. So they're still like doing their best here. And also, you know, you don't want to be the winless team. So there is that as well. I know in DPL Season 5, I was on a very bad team. And we like locked in for the last week to make sure we weren't the winless team in the history books. Slitherwing on site, what's up? Yeah. So, let's start off here. We got Lax versus Kyle. Now this is a heavyweight matchup. Two of the best players on either team respectively. So, yeah, it should be a banger. We see Zarude, a Pokemon of particular importance recently in terms of like, is it too good for the format? You know, prepping against Zarude always feels like, you know, this guy has 2,000 moves, 400 million base stats. How do I even beat this? You have to make concessions, right? And yeah, so there's a vote that happened for DCL. I won't spoil the results. I think someone's doing a write-up on it. But yeah, Zarude definitely in the crossfire for like potential ban arguments. Despite it not having the greatest win rate, it's just so oppressive in the builder. But okay, it is going to be Terra Fairy in this matchup. Fairy helps it, you know, get through stuff like the Latias, I guess, the Hawlucha. Maybe there's something on the bench that I'm missing. Nope. Oh, also this is wrong. Let me fix this on the dock. Yeah. Oh, it's for Darkrai. Darkrai is benched. That would do it, huh? Like the stream if you don't want your teams to end up like Toe. Yeah, that is so true. Can we like the stream? It will save you, I promise. I also feel like the music might be a little bit loud. Let me turn it down a little bit. Maybe it's too quiet now? Oh, let me know. But okay, Fairy type Zarude, but no Darkrai. No Darkrai into like Slitherwing. I guess you're predicting the Fairy Zarude, Spidef, Corviknight, AV Aloe. It does make sense where it's not the most easy Pokemon to get value out of. Usually in a match like this, you would see something like Nasty Plot, Life Orb, Thunder, which does Oko AV Aloe, would Oko Corviknight, but even then, you're revenged by Bundle, stuff like that. Can't really hear music now. Okay, maybe it's just loud in my ears. I'll bring it back up a little bit. There you go. But yeah, so Fairy Zarude. Electric Slitherwing is interesting. Sign up as a player in DCL so you can get drafted by them, so maybe they'll actually make playoffs. I will be signing up for DCL as a manager, but I think we're waiting for our logo until we apply. Not too sure, but that is coming, right? Yeah, Terra Electric, I don't really see a big vision on. Maybe it's just like the flying resist if Hawlucha gets out of hand, but I think you're definitely planning to Terra your Zarude going into this game. On the other side, we do see Terra Fairy on the Goldango. This makes a lot of sense, right? You're able to beat the Zarude potentially 1v1. You get that Terra Blast coverage for what? What do we need Terra Blast coverage for? Nothing really. It looks like the only Shadow Ball resist is Zarude, so it could be like mono Shadow Ball and you rely on the Zarude tearing out of that Dark typing, although maybe Dual Stab, Plot Recover just makes too much sense. You get that Make It Rain, that big nuke button, and Shadow Ball will kill everything else. I can see Dual Stab, Plot Recover on this. Maybe with screen support. Who's going to be your co-managers? Stay tuned to find out. But yeah. So yeah, Fairy Zarude, or Fairy Goldango makes a lot of sense. This is a crazy title. Hey man, it is what it is. I would expect screen support on a team like this, like screens Latios. I don't think offensive Latios is that good into Aloe Corv, right? It's always going to be revenged or encored by bundle. It goes for like CMs. Maybe you could argue a Double Dance could get through, like a Stored Power T-Bolt, but I don't see it, you know? So probably screens, Healing Wish into Goldango. You have hazards from Tinglu. It could be fast taunt into the Corviknight. You see the Ogerpon, no rock resist. That's a major threat. Right, so I'm probably going to see physically defensive Corviknight to help alleviate that. Yeah, the rest is like pretty whatever. So we've done a little bit of intro, and I think we're going to get into the game. There we go. So Iron Bundle going to lead off into the Tinglu. Really good lead for Lax. Can potentially just rip a Hydro Pump. Blastoise could come in, but you can just flip turn into Aloe and then flip turn again. Blastoise is not really threatening anything in this. So in comes the Hydro Pump and it just one-shots the Tinglu. So this is Choice Specs Iron Bundle, and this is not Spadef Tinglu. Hype it up like it isn't a combo of Theo, Zucher, Gloff. Well, maybe you would be surprised. Maybe. Will the co-manager be an avid fan of the the Wiggler himself in DD? Can he say that? In DD. Who's to say? But yeah, Specs Bundle, Oko's Tinglu off rip. Bang. Now Blastoise comes in, but you can just go Aloe, and as long as okay, a flip turn does come out, so he gets momentum, but nothing really forces this Aloe out. Goldango comes in, goes for a sub on the flip turn, and with Good as Gold, you're immune to the Encores, but Iron Bundle can just come in, and I assume the combination of flip turn and flip turn will break the sub, so you do get one free turn out of this sequence, but the free turn is going to do 18% to Aloe, you know? Like, you can just keep flipping. Goes for a Scald, so softens the sub for this slower flip turn next turn. Does allow the Nasty Plot, but if this flip turn breaks, then now you can go into something like, yeah, the Specs Bundle. At 75, Goldango might not be able to take this. So yeah, you're just going to go for the pump, and it looks like Blastoise comes in. 22, I want to say that's AV. Yeah, you don't want to know what Indeedee does with its fingers when it clicks follow me. I guess I just don't want to know. But yeah, Aloe completely blanks this Blastoise. It's more so like buying time against the bundle more than anything. A nice Ogerpon position, but Trailblaze into Ivy Cudgel. Looks like this Zarude is quite bulky. It actually just stays normal and goes for a U-turn into Landers. And now this Ogerpon, again, goes for the Horn Leech, but looks like a bulkier Lando as well, so we're just spamming U-turn. Now Slitherwing has Photosynthesis Speed, so it's going to outspeed. No, not because of the Trailblaze, but Ogerpon goes down getting 0 kills, which feels definitely wrong. Your chat has fallen off. What is this? Our chat's actually so back now that Vergi's typing. Are you co-managers? Something you have managed with before? Have you teamed up with them before? Look, you want to guess before you reveal it? I've teamed with one of them before, but it was a long time ago. And by a long time ago, I mean it, you know? They used AI, so no wonder. Who used AI? But anyways, Slitherwing takes down the Ogerpon. Going down with 0 kills versus this draft definitely feels like Kyle could have gotten more out of it. But here, Scarf Latias actually revealed Revenge kills the Slitherwing with Mist Bolt, but now this allows the Zarude a completely free turn. Goes for a U-turn though, so the Zarude is very low now. Would have expected a Synthesis there, but now positions the Iron Bundle, yeah, expects Freeze Dry, is just going to knock it out. Kyle not willing to make the switch to Goldango on that turn. Now is going to go into it, goes for the Nasty Plot, but can sub here on the Aloe. Here's that substitute. Goes for a flip turn, can just go bundle and flip again. We saw this sequence earlier. What's good in the hood? Everything is so good. The thumbnail? The Woe of Toe? Alright, here's our... Okay, it's mono Shadow Ball, so it was relying on the Zarude to Terra, like I was saying in the team preview, but the Zarude hasn't Terra'd. So now with the full moveset revealed, you can just kind of flip to the Zarude or the bundle. Here's that flip, and now the Zarude comes in, and you can just synth here. Doesn't synth, so it must not have it. Which is like really confusing to me in this matchup. I don't know why we needed to be like 4 attack Zarude. But regardless, it's going to soften up the Goldango low enough where this Iron Bundle is just going to click Ice Beam. It's going to kill. Now Latias comes in, it is Choice Scarf, so we're going to get out of there into the Corviknight. Catches an Ice Beam, looks like a very bulky Corviknight, as you would expect. Slow U-turn, softens up the Latias, and now Bundle comes in because we know it's locked Ice Beam. You can't even freeze Ice types, so now it's just a Freeze Dry checkmate situation. And that's going to be the game. Really dominant from Lax here. Yeah, AV Blastoise is able to take that in Mirror Coat, but you got 3 other Pokemon, all of them will beat the Blastoise 1v1. There we go. So 1-0 for the big dogs. And Kyle just really felt like his prep was lacking. Maybe his lines were lacking as well. No kills out of the Ogerpon definitely feels incorrect. This Goldango as well, it feels a little bit like wishful thinking, perchance. The Scarf Lati was nice. I got a few kills, some revenge killing, but the lead Ting Lu not living the bundle hit, like surely you can foresee that. And EV accordingly. If it's like weakness policy, you can EV for that Hydro Pump, do big damage with Earthquake, or just be like Custap Berry, something like that. Take that, get a Hazard up, and then maybe a Ruination. Yeah, there's lots of things that could have been, but Lax able to just completely dominate this game. 1-0 for the big dogs. Now going to game 2, it's going to be Hydra versus Nim. Now let's get these sides consistent. Big dogs on the left. So Nim having a fantastic season so far. I believe he is, what, 5-0 going into this game, if I remember correctly. 5-0. So really dominant stuff. And here he is playing against Hydra, someone who is on the up and coming Swish list, knocking on the door of the gauntlet, some are saying. But I think Nim has also proven he deserves to be part of the gauntlet as well. The famous Swish gauntlet. Gotta keep mentioning it, I guess. But here, let's see. So from Toe's perspective, I mean, you have to worry about the Lando, but you have Zapdos, Bulky Dragonite, Uxie. You have about as good as you can get versus Lando in this tier. A Zeraora, you have a Seismitoad plus Dragonite, like 2 pretty bulky guys that, depending on the set, can check it quite comfortably. Nim is the gauntlet, many are saying this. So just everyone's in the gauntlet? Not everyone. Not going to name names. But yeah, another Zarude. Obviously this one can't Terra, but it does look pretty good, right? You're able to stop stuff like the Kartana potentially, although Sacred Sword is pretty threatening. You have a Corviknight as well. I don't know. It feels like both teams have defensive answers to the opposing offense, so we might be in for a long one, or we'll see some smart sequencing to get around this issue from either side. Alright, Dragonite going to lead off into the Lando. Pretty good lead for Hydra. Can do pretty much anything from this position. We're going to knock off a weakness policy, maybe expecting a Rock Slide, but Scale Shot only going to get 2 hits into what looks like a very bulky Lando. But it is Scale Shot Ice Beam with weakness policy. It gives you a little bit of that ability to run mixed sets a little bit more effectively. And here, Hydra showing off the Ice Beam. KOs the Landorus. It's not like the Landorus was doing too much, but importantly denies rocks. It looks like a bulky Lando, and that would be your rocker to free up an offensive Terrakion. So Hydra doesn't have to worry about rocks for his Zapdos if it gets knocked off by Zarude, stuff like that. Really important stuff. Does the person who is not in the gauntlet start with a G and end with X as he tried to challenge the gauntlet this season? Yo, he might have had his pass revoked. I'm not gonna lie. So Terrakion does come in, would live a neutral Earthquake, but could also very well be Choice Scarf. We get to find out here potentially. It is going to be Choice Scarf, knocks out the Dragonite. So 1-for-1 lead, or 1-for-1 trade off of leads, but now Hydra is going to get the Rocks advantage as Terrakion's forced out into Zarude. Was actually a Focus Punch, calls the Zarude. That's an offensive Life Orb Seismitoad. Whoa. Totally expected Rocks to just go up there, but a Darkest Lair into Kartana, gonna force this into the Heatran, but a double to the Heatran. I think I said that wrong. Cart comes in on the Darkest Lariat, right? Forces out the Zarude. You have a Corviknight at full. You're not gonna sack your Zarude. And the double to Heatran, stomping on Nim's throat. Really nice double there. So Heatran finds its way on the field. Terrakion can pivot in one time. It's going to be Slowking, though, as a Flame Charge comes out. That's definitely interesting. Maybe expecting a Zarude sack, but it's not going to be the case. Slowking able to force that out with the amount of HP it's at. And the Shukaberry going to be able to trade into the Seismitoad. Does it carry Grass Knot? And of course it is. With the Shukaberry, allows you to stay in on that ground type and punish accordingly. So really good stuff from Nim. Lures in that. And now, despite that really great sequence of plays from Hydra early, the Mon advantage goes to Nim. Now Kartana's in, but once again, the Corviknight's at full HP, so can just go to it. This time Hydra not going to pull the double. Just going to get the knockoff, remove the helmet from Corviknight, but this does allow a U-turn here. Yeah, we're going to see a Tailwind, a little bit of an aggressive play, but with a no item on Slowking, should be able to take a knockoff from here, but instead just going to double out to the Corviknight, as Hydra probably will go for that knockoff. May as well just get your regen and go back to the Corv, which is going to hard wall this. Now forces the Roost eventually, so Heatran does find its way on the field, but the Tailwind is basically over. You can also just go into your Slowking, dodges a Magma Storm. Really unfortunate for Hydra. Gonna just stay in and go for it here. It's not going to 2-hit KO the Slowking. Maybe an Earth Power can get close, but yeah, not going to be the case. And 2 Earthquakes is going to knock out the Heatran, and Slowking survives for another day. Now Zapdos comes in. I think the Slowking is probably pretty useful still if it's able to regen up. So maybe you might see a Zarude sack here, or maybe even just hard Zeraora. You could also see, okay, it is going to be a Slowking sack, fair enough. Now Zeraora comes in for free, can potentially set up here. We know that it's not going to be Scarf Kartana, and it is going to be Substitute. So covering for like a toxic Zapdos kind of thing. We see Leftovers, so probably going to be Calm Mind here. Oh no, it's just going to be a physical, so Knockoff and Plasma Fist maybe? Yeah, with Bulk Up potentially. That does make a little bit of sense as well. Although maybe I would expect close combat in that last slot for the Heatran and the Kartana. So maybe it's just sub 3 attacks. Here we see actually a Scarf Uxie come out and not break the sub. Okay, that explains the set a little bit more. What's up, Wyatt?
Hey. I was just saying that it's sad that the Psychic couldn't break the sub.
Yeah, so this is actually going to reveal Max Special Defense Sub-Toxic Zeraora. This is interesting. I would almost want to say that this doesn't have Plasma Fist. Because I feel like Knock CC is better coverage into this team and covers the 2 toxic immunities. Okay. Let's chill with the toxic misses here.
Yeah, not gonna change too much, but extends the game.
Game feels wrapped up after what felt like a really solid early game from Hydra, so maybe it's just a great mid-game from Nim, but it felt like maybe Hydra couldn't capitalize on the lead that he had early on. This should be a knockoff. Yeah, gets rid of the Scarf. Yeah, it's pretty much over here. Nim, you know, advances to a 6-0 record for the season. Like, really good stuff from him. Hydra put up a good fight here, though. Not gonna lie. Just a good game overall, I feel like. You saw, like, the game plan of, like, if the Slowking can lure in that Seismitoad, all of a sudden a Zeraora like this becomes a lot more dangerous, right? Stuff like the Scarf Terrakion as well. Really good stuff. Yeah, now Terrakion does come in, can finish it off with a close combat, and that's going to be the game. So 2-0 for the big dogs, and Trickify once again start off the series down. But here we have the Champions
Sadly,
game.
once again.
Yeah, so this is going to be Phagos, who's also having a fantastic season in Champions, versus Lejon Flames, one of the captains of Trickify. I will say, this it's like Delphox kind of like team. Like Delphox is so good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm on his Thanos. But we've seen Gypsy King use it really effectively. We saw Sub-Zero use it against me, and we're seeing Lejon use it here. And again, Delphox has what looks like a really good matchup. The speed is just so good. And it has coverage for stuff like Greninja.
Yeah, Glob's been telling me that Delphox is really good. He has somewhat of an obsession with Champs Delphox. Or just like in general, I would say.
Yeah, like Delphox and DD.
Yeah. I mean, like for the Levitate Expanding Force, pretty good combo.
Yeah. But okay, so Faye versus Lejon. You definitely favor Phagos in this like player matchup, but I feel like Lejon might have the Pokemon matchup here.
Just on preview, his team does look a bit more potent, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it does. Like Gallade, I feel like everyone thought it was like going to be super strong going into the season, but I feel like I haven't seen many good Gallade replays. Like here it's pretty good in theory, right? CC and Shadow Sneak covers pretty much the whole team, but I mean, you're going to have something for it, I feel like. Well, let's see. Komo's going to lead off into the Greninja. Good lead for Lejon. We're going to see a flip turn immediately, so could be a Choice Scarf Greninja. Just leading off, trying to deter Delphox leads, but a Dragon Dance comes out as Clefable comes in. You could see Roselli Berry on this Como, and just trying to 2-hit KO this Clefable with either Poison Jab or Iron Head. Given the team, I would expect Poison Jab, as it also hits the Rotom Mow. Rocks. Huh?
Oh.
The fuck?
I remember this set. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, like, I mean, we're out, right? I can trivia this set.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was I believe Endeavor last. I know it was at least Endeavor. I don't know about the Endure, but like I think I mocked him, and the strat was like you DD as they go Clefable, you get your rocks up as you go to 1, and then Endure them or something.
I see the vision. Like I actually kind of see the vision.
DD is just like a fake out to make them like be pressured to hit you instead of like rocking or something.
Yeah. Okay, so like the plan would have worked, but an unfortunate crit timing.
It's a Lejon Cook, but like, you know, this one actually looked like it had a pretty good vision.
Glamora's gonna force this out. T-Spike goes up, but surely this Corv's just gonna defog, right? Is your grand plan going to Serp on Corviknight to punish the defog? Like, we're not gonna defog? Okay. It's Corrosion Glamora. I hate this set so much.
Hey, chill on him, it's working.
I get it. T-Spikes aren't even that good here. No, they're pretty fucking good. But Scarf Toxicroak it looks like, or just a very slow Glamora maybe. It is defensive Glamora, so maybe it's just slower.
And goodbye Croak.
Goodbye Toxicroak. Like, now imagine if you just had Toxic to free. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
So Gren comes in, can just go for a flip turn for free because there's absolutely no punish for it. Corviknight comes in, takes a little bit of damage, but allows the Rotom Mow in. There's no ground type, so it kind of stuck in the Vortex, but rocks are up, so like this probably benefits Lejon long term. Just getting Rock Chip on both these guys is really good. Again, Corviknight on the Greninja. I feel like Faye is the one that has to mix this up, if anything. Like, he's technically getting more chip on this, but okay, Corv just stays in to go for like a roost. Uses the J-Ricky to get out of this situation. I feel like he was probably fine. Just racking up chip on the Gren is super important for like your Delphox and King Gambit, right? And now you have to play with Rock's trade. I feel like he broke the sequence for no good reason. And now you have to play with Rocks even. Yeah, shout out J-Ricky. Okay, Wish Delphox, but its Heat Wave goes out onto it. Now you're gonna get some chip on the Greninja. This is really good actually. Now Greninja has one more rock switch and after this, and you have a Corviknight still pretty full HP. Goes Superior instead. Catches the flip turn, so gets what he wanted out of it. And now Corviknight comes in. Corviknight's gonna force out the Serp for like very easily. Doesn't force out the Serp because we have Reflect. Okay, Reflect Synthesis maybe to beat the Corviknight 1v1. And now we have Leaf Storm, but this Clefable is gonna be unaware. Doesn't it doesn't have recovery. What?
Oh wow, yeah, the
Moonblast,
full set
Stealth
is
Rock,
revealed.
Shadow Ball, T-Wave. So even though it's unaware,
Probably gonna
it's gonna lose 1v1 to Serp. I guess you can.
probably gonna T-wave here.
We're not T-waving.
Shadow
What?
Ball.
Why aren't we T-waving?
Oh.
Oh no, that is really bad. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Yeah, now the Serp is kind of neutered. Gets the Moonblast boost.
Yeah. So recovers all the way back to full because you can. Now probably just see
What's
a
the Shadow
reflect,
Ball
right?
for?
You can
Like,
reflect here.
Trying to
the full
catch the
para.
Delphox coming in. Okay.
Some damage. That wouldn't have killed, but man, I do feel bad for Lejon here. It's like I see the vision on what he's trying to do. It's just not working, right?
Mm.
Gambit gets tricked here. Don't tell me SD. Okay, takes the KO
wait,
here at
he gets
least.
tricked this Choice Scarf to a Choice Scarf.
Oh, it's Scarf Gambit. That's really funny,
Yeah.
actually. Does like Gallade not
Yeah.
have reason to be fast here? Is it like faster than Gallade? Is what I'm asking.
I would assume so. Like, I feel like that's the main reason to be Scarfed on
Yeah.
this here.
I mean, it better be,
'Cause, like,
right?
Yeah, like most of Faye's mons are slow as fuck.
Mm-hmm. But here Gallade just looks really good. You can CC to force a KO, but now you're -1, so yeah, we go Corviknight. So does Lejon's
like with
Corviknight
this-
beat the opposing Corviknight? Because if it does, this Corv is really good. We're just gonna U-turn.
I mean, Gambit's actually faster than Gallade. I feel like it's looking pretty strong if this
Wait.
Orb didn't get a chance to heal. Does it die? Oh, it's
Akaberry, but that doesn't get you anywhere,
Okay.
right? Yeah, you're forced to trade your Corviknight for the Delphox. This is really good
Wait,
for
is it-
Lejon's Corv.
Gambit looks really Thanos now.
Yeah, Gambit looks good, Corv looks really good, and Greninja just
Maybe-
used its last rock switch in, and you can just go Corviknight and Roost. At 27, gets a drop immediately, like fuck off.
Oh shit! Is it a roll?
No, it's not
Okay,
a
no,
roll.
he lives.
Another drop, dude. I
Oh.
actually feel bad. What? I actually feel bad for the guy. What the fuck?
And a crit. Okay.
Oh, dude. Give the guy a break. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Now we do have King Gambit 5 Fallen. Is it faster than the Gallade? It might just... It doesn't kill. Oh, so
Oh, it
close.
doesn't kill.
This game was so close despite everything going wrong. Like, luck-wise
Really
for
solid
him.
game from Lejon, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think his
It
prep
was,
was pretty
yeah.
cool too. I really like the Komodo lead.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say, man. This is really bad. I feel bad for the guy, but his team is 0-3 now. Like, dude.
Actually, you know what? No. He needed to lose that game so that Chikovai could end with 0 champs wins. It was
True.
destined.
It was actually written in the script.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
some divine
speaking of
intervention
Destin,
for sure.
Speaking of Destin, we have Mr. Undefeated II here. I believe he's 5-0 at the time of this game.
He
if
is
this
5-0
week 6.
going into this.
Yeah.
I remember specifically, this is like a few weeks after mids, right? But right after mids, he like brought Flygon, led with it, did like insane amounts of work, and then week 5 comes out, he brings Flygon, does insane amounts of work, and now it's week 6, he brings Flygon into...
Yeah.
I'm looking at this, a horrible Flygon matchup.
There's
Like-
4 ground immunities on my screen. Yeah.
So you see this, you think, what is the Flygon doing here? It's probably going to be bulky, I think, to check the Nihilego, potentially help check the Celesteela depending on the set. The Lando, for example, if it's not HP Ice, can be checked by this thing with the Levitate plus the Poison Resist. It's like a pretty good defensive profile, but offensively it is quite woeful. Yeah, week 7 recap is right after we finish wrapping up week 6. This is the last series for week 6 that we didn't cover last time, so yeah, we'll get to it. Don't worry. But okay. Let's see the Flygon Misto class. This is a Charizard Y team, something that's been quite successful, a very proven core where you have the fast electric, you have Cart to like offensively pair with the fire type, like unwallable duo, and then you have stuff like Uxie to bring those guys onto the field. You have your Blastoise to spin for the Charizard, and there's a Nidoking on the bench, just, you know, Nidoking, really great roll compression. Like, this style of team has always been successful, like since like 3 or 4 years ago, I think, when we first saw that. Usually it's with Charizard X, but here this is Charizard Y. A little bit of an adaptation of this style. But yeah. Flygon leads off into Landorus. We're going to see Rocks Up, and it's actually going to be Toxic. So yeah, a defensive Flygon here. Toxic and what? Probably a Fire move for Celesteela, I want to say. Yeah, there's the Fire Blast, right? Trying to catch the Celesteela. Now Pidgeot comes in, goes for the Hurricane. Does 55, but the J-Ricky shout out is going to allow us to get the Toxic and get out of there with relatively high HP. Blastoise comes in, should be able to take 2 and Rapid Spin here. 30%, that's actually nothing. That's AV Blastoise for sure. Right? Has to be. Yeah, Rapid Spin is going to remove those rocks, and now we've gotten Toxic spread on 2 guys, no Rocks Up. We have Kartana to switch in on the Bulu. Bulu goes for sub, could be like Z with Superpower. Or like, it's actually Hidden Power Fire.
Oh, HP Fire.
But Focus Sash Kartana. Oh, this.
Oh, it doesn't kill.
What? Substitute? What the fuck?
Okay, a bit of a fumble there.
Yeah, is that like a misclick or something? Does he say anything about it?
Like, maybe he thinks like like that I knows he lives, and then like that he won't stay in on the next HP Fire or some shit like that. Like.
I doesn't have a switch in there, right? Or maybe like...
yeah. I mean, like, maybe Zard? I don't know, like...
I think he's expecting the Zard pivot. But in that case, you can always just Stone Edge. It'll kill the Kartana from 6%.
Yeah. That's what I think he was going for. Like, you know, just trying to cover, like, a pivot out to Zard or whoever, and then didn't expect the cart to stay in. Like, he probably saw that he always lived, and, like, didn't expect it to stay or some shit. That's how I can rationalize it.
Feels hard to believe. Regardless, yeah. Celesteela is going to come in on that Leaf Blade, and Kartana actually gets out of that alive. An Air Slash into Uxie is red card, so designed to stop an Autotomize sweep, but not going to need it here. As rocks go up, as Rotom comes in. Rotom is forced in, and then we rock on the Volt Switch. Okay. So good trade for II. Getting rocks up really important. Catches that Pidgeot and stuff. Now Lando in, but I feel like you could just go Blastoise and keep these rocks up, because you can't block the spin. Landorus plus Toxic, but you can block the spin actually. Explosion gonna keep those rocks up, and Blastoise can't come in on rocks later. So I'm gonna go for that Torrent Aqua Jet. Really nice tech to get some chip on the Nihilego, but the spinner does go down. I know Flygon can carry Defog, Kartana can carry Defog, but is it going to? Do you have that backup removal? And it's going to be Roost, Toxic, Fire Blast.
Once again, getting a lot of value out of this Flygon.
It should wall this Rotom even burn as U-turn, so no Defog to be seen. Kartana's going to come in. It felt like you weren't really forced out there as the Flygon. Maybe trying to catch a switch to Celesteela proactively, because it does get guaranteed progress into anything. So maybe trying to catch that, doesn't catch it, and still going to have to sack the Kartana. But now Zeraora comes in, and catch a Hydro Pump, does break the sub. No lefties on the Zera, but just keeps subbing, fishing for a Hydro Miss. Or just waiting for Toxic to put it in range, but the Ayapapa Berry...
Oh, the Hyper Potion.
Another sub. So Zera has run out of time. Gonna go for the Plasmas, doesn't knock it out. Rotom is going to die to that. So able to stall it enough time for the Toxic to do its work, but now Nihilego comes in, representing Choice Scarf. And we're going to go hard into Flygon, as it does wall Scarf Nihilego. Would have loved to see like a Dazzling Gleam there, but maybe you're not even running it. Right, Dual Stab, HP Fire, feels pretty necessary. And here's a Roost. Brings that Flygon back into the fall. Pidgeot comes in, but again, we can just stay in and take this hit. We're going to actually Roost it off, just wait for the Toxic to do its thing. And now we go Charizard. Is this like predicting a Roost?
On the Roost, maybe? Oh, yeah.
Do you live the Hurricane? Could be HP Rock as well. Gonna Mega Evolve. Let's see what this Pidgeot does. It is gonna Hurricane, and it does knock out the Zard. So Just a sack at the end of the day to allow the Zeraora to come in, but now Plasma Fist is going to be not a KO, because this is the very rare
Slower
choice.
than Pidgeot.
The very rare choice Scarf Mega Pidgeot, it would seem. What?
Well, okay, so II is destined to go undefeated, but how does he do it here?
How do he do it? It really does feel like Cliff should have this one, right? Surely the Celesteal is too
wrong
much.
spread in the chat.
Yeah, so it gets a confusion as well. So Flygon is going to end up at 61, confused and burned. Nihilego comes in though. Don't want to go steal it with enough suns up.
Pretty powerful with the Fire Blast.
We actually did have the Dazzling Gleam, we just didn't click it earlier. That might be a mistake. Now Uxie, we've used our last Nihilego switch in. So I guess it depends. Does this Flygon beat the Celesteal 1v1?
Do we see like a Memento or some shit here? Oh, T-Wave, that's gonna help.
T-Wave full para. A U-turn into Flygon. On Autotomize. Okay, so we're back to neutral speed. But this should still be slower than the Flygon. Goes for the Roost. Do we see another Autotomize? We do. So now Celesteal might be faster. Depends on investment on both sides, but I would expect it to be. There's the Air Slash. Only 35. The Aqua Berry is going to prevent the Fire Blast from doing full damage. Only 17. Another Air Slash. Gets the flinch.
Oh.
With a full para.
Oh, okay. That's how.
Flygon gets the Roost off. But it still needs to avoid some flinches. Another flinch!
Oh, another flinch? Do we get like a miss or a parry?
And the another full para, so yeah. Another full para as Flygon goes back up to full. Can now afford to go for a Fire Blast in this situation. Another full para! And now we just need to connect one more Fire Blast. Now is as good a time as any. But a flinch! One more opportunity.
Oh.
Goes for it, lands, and that's going to be the game. II clawing victory from the grasp of defeat. However that saying goes, grasping victory from the jaws of defeat. That sounds right.
Like that.
Managed to get out of that with a little bit of help from the yellow magic. And that's going to be, 3-1, right? I guess we should have been watching it from this perspective because we've been doing big dogs on the left. But yeah. II wins the game for his team as he has done every week so far. He's now 6-0, but his team still has not won a week. And it's not looking great for this week either. Who has more plot armor, II or Jimmy post mids? I think they both have equal plot armor, which is 100%. Okay, Slick versus OG Albina. I actually remember this game quite well. Kind of a little bit of a banger. I think both sides played this one pretty well. But okay, Slick versus OG Albina in Usum. And we're going to see Zygarde. Something that a lot of people have been saying, the rule set that we chose for DPL is like really disadvantageous for Zygarde in specific. But I mean, I've been looking at all the games in Zygarde. Every single game has just been Thanos. So I'm not convinced by people's argument. I feel like it's a knee-jerk reaction that isn't really supported by anything besides vibes. But here we do see that Z Zygarde making an appearance alongside its partner in crime, right? Z Salazzle. Something that's been popping off quite a lot this season. We'll see if that's the case here. But yeah, we see Mega Gallade. This team, it's pretty interesting, right? Stunfisk, kind of anti-meta in Usum. Also something that we dropped in price this season to allow a little bit more help against the fast electrics of the format. We did kind of a blanket buff to all these like mid to low tier ground types, and Stunfisk was one of them. Also pretty useful at checking Torn in this matchup. So that's something that Slick is going to be very happy about, because otherwise Torn is looking like a massive threat. On the other side, though, this is Charizard Y, is it? Or is it Charizard X on this team?
This one's X.
It's X, okay.
Yeah,
This one's X. And again, using this Nidoking Blastoise plus Speed Control and Cart kind of combination, this time substituting the Fast Electric for a Torn and kind of leaving the rest of it untouched. So a little bit of a proven core-ish. Close enough, right? But alright, let's get into the game. Uxie going to lead off, potentially threatening rocks up, but Charizard going to lead off. So you don't have to worry so much about spinning. You just get the Mega off immediately, but Rocky Helmet Uxie is going to get Reflect up, so good chip on both sides. Now rocks are definitely going up as Torn comes in. Could be a knockoff here, but it is just going to be Defog, removes the screens and the rocks at the same time. Is Stunfisk going to be double rocks here? Going to catch the Nidoking with an Earth Power. Really aggressive, expecting the switch, although Torn's never staying in though. So it's a pretty easy play to make. Now, yeah, it is double rocks.
He does have the double rocks.
Oh, but Blastoise reveals to be offensive with the Water Spout. Could be Choice Scarf, could be Choice Specs. We don't really get any information because of the crit on Uxie, but yeah, kind of a fake spin situation. You're leading Charizard, so you don't have to spin. And you have Defog Torn just in case you need it, and that allows for this offensive Blastoise into a team with only Greninja as the water resist. So really great bring from OG Albina. And like getting a KO here, it's probably not going to be the last KO. Zyger comes in. We're actually just going to stay in. Gets that Water Spout in exchange for a Glare. So if this was Choice Scarf, it's now no longer fast. There's no Healing Wish on the team. There's no Heal Bell. So this Para is going to be there to stay. But Zygarde did have to take a lot of damage to get that done. Now 1,000 arrows into Scrafty, but it is looking like a defensive Scrafty, able to take that hit with the help of Intimidate, and goes for a knockoff, boosting the Gallade's attack with Justified, but getting a little bit of chip. Looks like we're just going to sack Blastoise. Oh, but catches a T-Wave. So, not a sack after all. T-Wave is interesting. Trying to catch maybe a Torn pivot. A Torn in there actually would make a lot of sense, so I understand the T-Wave play. Yeah, now just going to Drain Punch. Brings the Blastoise down to Torrent range.
Oh my god.
But cannot get the attack off. You would have imagined like a Hydro Pump probably doing close to like 70-80% to this Gallade depending on the bulk investment. Yeah, Torrent offensive Blastoise is no joke, but unfortunately the Yellow Magic going the other way. Now Drain Punch is going to knock it out. Now Torrent makes an appearance, can go for the Z flying. With like something like a T-Wave, Drain Punch, Gallade, you don't want to risk it being EV'd for Hurricane, which it actually can do. It's not easy, but like it can run that bulk if it wants to, which honestly wouldn't even be a bad play, as all that Spadef means you can come in on Nidoking quite comfortably. So just going to go for the Z. Pretty safe play from Owen. Get some chip on the Stunfisk, and now you see a double to Gren, knowing that a U-turn is probably not coming, but a Defog, like, I don't know what the Defog was expecting, but if the Stunfisk stays in, it could just rock again, right? But the aggressive double to Gren is not going to work out here, as now Torn's going to double, maybe not double, but go Scrafty on the Hydro Pump. That is Specs Greninja, it looks like. Maybe into 80 Scrafty. I don't know. I guess you can't know one without the other. Now Torn comes in, as Gallade does not go for the T-Wave, and a U-turn, because Gallade probably knows it can live from this range, or it's just calling the fact that you're not going to Hurricane into a Stunfisk and allow rocks up. So calls the U-turn either way, and goes for a Zen Headbutt. And so Zen Headbutt is like the kind of thing where you know exactly what the sequence is going to be. This is a great prediction from Slick. You say, Owen, you're not going to U-turn, or you're not going to Hurricane into Fisk and allow rocks up. That's just a losing play for you. And if you U-turn, because maybe I'm expecting a double or a U-turn, but if you U-turn, you see Gallade staying in, you're probably thinking a T-Wave is coming. So what do you go to? You go to Nidoking. And Slick just reads the situation perfectly. Really good turn from him, I have to say. And now Torn comes in at this point. Can't really play too many games. A Hurricane does feel necessary now, which is why I think Owen should probably double here. Maybe into Kartana, trying to catch that Stunfisk. It feels like Slick doesn't have the ability to make that prediction more than once. And there is the Fisk, and a Hurricane does come out. So I get it, but like still. Taunt on the rock, so that is good, right? Making some plays to come back into the game. Gets Scrafty in on the discharge, gets full parrot, unfortunately. But Gallade is going to be a pretty safe switch in, and again, this is the kind of turn where you need to be pulling doubles in a situation like this. A double to Torn, you know, forces the Gallade out, and then a double to Cart on the Stunfisk. I think Cart is your main progress maker. Cart and Zard, you need to find turns for those. And how are you going to do that? You need to get Cart in on Stunfisk. Pretty much Stunfisk, that's pretty much it. Or you need to get Zard in on maybe Salazzle, maybe the Gallade. And that's your ways of forcing progress. But Owen not going to be able to do that. Goes Torn on the Drain Punch, so there is still that opportunity to double right here into the Kartana or the Zardex. Here's the double to Zardex as Stunfisk comes in. Now at 54%, I mean, Flare Blitz is a strong move. Will it live? It actually does live just barely. And we're going to trade into the Charizard. Stunfisk does end up quite low, though. So this does open up the Torn. But here Kartana comes in. There always is that threat of static in situations like this. Owen wants the Beast Boost, doesn't want to risk Hurricane Miss. So it's either Hurricane Miss or you're... Thank you. Or you have to risk the static. And Owen saying, hey, I like the situation I end up after a Beast Boost more than having Torn on the field. Because Torn on the field does allow something like the Specs Gren to get some leeway there. Goes for the Leaf Blade and drum roll. The static is gonna proc. So it feels like everything is just going wrong in the past two games for Trick-of-Eye. And now this allows Salazzle to come in. Threatens a fire move as Torn gonna be the pivot in. Only does 45, so a very bulky Torn. Goes for the Hurricane, gets the confusion, and the Salazzle self-hit, so a little bit of karmic justice. But you need to hit another one, and Salazzle actually goes down, so maybe Owen's still in this one. Greninja is going to come out. Looks like an Ice Beam is pretty much guaranteed to be a KO here, as Scrafty is going to come in. But doesn't go for the Ice Beam, maybe doesn't have it. Could be Hydro, Dark Pulse, U-Turn, and maybe Surf or Scald. Maybe Grass Knot for the Blastoise. Either way, Ice Beam is not clicked there. So Scrafty is able to get a free turn, because this... I'll spoil a little bit. This is Specs Gren and AV Scrafty. I think that was revealed from the discharge damage as well. Yeah, this is locked into Dark Pulse. A double opportunity is here. The Gren switches, and the double to Torn is pulled, but catches the Zygarde instead of the Gallade, which is the switch into a Scrafty all game long. So Slick goes for that nice mid-ground play, catches the Torn with the Zygarde, and actually another great play from Slick. Here's a taunt expecting a glare, but instead 1,000 arrows comes out. No reason not to click arrows in this situation. But now you can U-turn potentially into Kartana. And Kartana's a Pokemon where the 1,000 arrows is not going to 2-hit KO, and now you can get a big hit off with your paralyzed Kartana, which you can't do versus the other two Pokemon. So getting the use out of it that you can gets a crit, useful to keep it in Torn range for longer after the lefties protect. But yeah, so Torn might be able to do this depending on this Greninja, maybe hitting some Hydro Pumps later. Here's a Hurricane, does connect on the Zygarde, goes down. Now Greninja forced to come in, 84%, you do live a Hydro Pump. Goes for a U-turn, U-turn plus another move will to it KO. Can Scrafty live this? Maybe you can go for a dodge. Hydro Pump does connect. And now Torn also has to dodge, but at this point Slick has a guaranteed win path. Can go sack the Gallade, and Torn is actually in range of Dark Pulse, I believe. Yeah, so just gonna make the safe move, but yeah, Owen fought for really it, cool, right? A close one, but Slick with some really fantastic plays in the mid game, I have to say.
I think the thing that really went wrong for Owen was trading the damage on Zygarde for the para and the Stoys. Like, I feel like that Stoys could have been like a really solid win con if it was scarfed, but obviously hindsight.
Yeah, I think he was scared of like a DD or coil setting up on the Blastoise, but
for sure, or even like a sub.
It really feels premature to set up with a full HP Intimidate Scrafty in the back. That could very well be Ice Beam, or not Ice Beam, but Ice Punch. You don't know the Kartana set. You don't know a lot of things, so early in the game like that, probably Slick's best play is to scout out something, get a status going. And it feels like Scrafty could have come in there, but yeah. And then there was that sequence where maybe you could have doubled a few times, but that's not necessarily a mistake. It's just missed opportunities. And yeah, that's gonna be what, 4-1 for Big Dogs. So now, 5 games into the series and a win is off the tables. It's so sad. Like, going on to game 6 here. We have Fierce Flamethrower versus TJ the Boat.
I remember this game. This is a champs game, right?
This is
Oh
SV.
no, wait, never mind. This is
I
SV. I see.
regret to
Yeah,
inform
never
you.
mind. A lot of these guys are not in champs. Never mind.
A lot of them, yeah. But okay, so Fierce rocking this triple grass team. One of them is benched. It's an Ogre upon Hearthflame. But this team has been very successful over the course of the season, and he's using it here again against TJ. And you do see Terra Steel on the Hydrapple. You look at this, like, Terra Steel makes me think it's probably going to be AV for the Raging Bolt. Also just a general nice defensive typing to have into stuff like the Metagross, the Alola Tails. And it's like pretty neutral into the Blastoise if it is Shell Smash. I think you're pretty covered into Shell Smash Blastoise. I would expect Bulky here to spin away for the like Iron Moth, but regardless. Speaking of the Iron Moth, it is Terrifier. It's a big threat here. As long as the Toxapex is able to be dealt with, it is kind of a KO every time. So expect TJ to have some lures for that Toxapex, maybe a Whirlpool Blastoise, something like that. That doesn't really 1v1 it anyways, but you get the idea. Something to lure the Pex is probably coming. Or at the very least, a kind of Raging Bolt that can switch in on Pex multiple times and dish out big damage. Alright, let's get into it. Lander is going to lead off into the Raging Bolt. So good lead for Fierce Flamethrower. This Raging Bolt is going to be Terra Poison, so can't Terra out of the Earth Power weakness. So rocks are just going to go up as Gliscor comes in. Pretty standard stuff. Dual Wing Beat into Helmet Corviknight. So good stuff there for Fierce. Can go for a slow U-turn if you want, as rocks do get traded, but now you get momentum into your Meowscarada. Does reveal not to be Boots at the very least. But threatening a triple axle here, we see Protect on the Gliscor. A knockoff is here though, so does TJ risk this Meowscarada being non-choiced and ripping a triple axle now? Or do we just stay in and say, this is probably choiced Meow? Looking at it, I don't think this necessarily needs to be choiced Meow. Maybe Choice Band is more likely than Choice Scarf.
The bench speed is Roaring Moon on TJ's side, so
okay, a Roaring Moon in the back does kind of change things a little bit for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think TJ,
honestly,
oh, that's probably banded. 52 to Gliscor?
That's a lot, yeah.
Does feel like a lot.
Wow, Gliscor is weak. Oh my god.
Maybe it's Scarf into like Spadef Gliscor, which into Lando makes sense. So I'm a little bit ambiguous on the Meowscarada set, but here's the taunt. We're going to see a U-turn, and this time I'm going to go Hydrapple. Probably not going to Terra here. Does Terra in front of the Gliscor, so a little bit scared of like a Toxic maybe? Oh, actually no, it revealed all four. There's no Earthquake. So how are we killing this Hydrapple? It's really only with Iron Moth.
Oh wait,
that is
the
that is scary.
the Gliscor has no Earthquake. Oh yeah, I remember this game now. Yeah.
Fickle gets all out onto the Metagross. We're gonna switch out of respect, just respecting stuff like Earthquake and Trick.
Oh,
so actually,
Trick. Yeah, Trick would have been
takes
good.
that onto the Corviknight, and now Body Press. You're gonna get helmeted, but trading HP on the steals, it looks like. But now we can just go Gliscor. We know it's locked into Body Press. May as well get our Poison Heal going. But again, this is gonna allow in the Hydrapple.
Yeah.
I actually don't think this is good from TJ, because now Hydrapple is the scary thing that you can't really switch into right now. You're just allowing it for free.
Like, he's healing his Gliscor a bit, but like TJ's gonna net more progress, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. So the aggressive Earth Power, trying to call the Iron Moth switch in, but I really don't think hard Iron Moth is a legal move here. Because if that goes down to the Earth Power, you just lose, right? It's way too risky. Maybe we just troll with our Gliscor, try to PP stall Fickle Beam and stuff like that. Looks like Fierce is going for a Dragon Tail play here. And if he pulls anything besides the Iron Moth, it's good. Here's Raging Bolt, that's fine. I think you can just Dragon Tail again, get some chip, and that Volt Switch does a lot of damage.
That makes me think it's either Specs or the other guy is not AV.
Yeah, so Specs, like Raging Bolt would make a lot of sense, given that your Iron Moth is like so good here outside of Toxapex, right? Toxapex comes in, you want to punish that with something like a Specs Raging Bolt, right? And given the fact that there's no Fairy naturally on this team, you'd have to Terra to get one. Specs Raging Bolt does make a lot of sense, although the reason you'd be Terra Poison, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe just the defensive profile is nice into stuff like the Meow and the Hydrapple, Toxapex. Avoid like a Toxic. But here Iron Moth comes in, goes for a Fiery Dance, but Toxpex pretty safe to come in here. We're gonna double to Corviknight. Okay, so it goes down there.
Wants to keep the Pex healthy, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Pex, after the regen, is able to force us out with Liquidation, does knock out the Metagross. But now Raging Bolt comes in, and it feels like a pretty free Draco opportunity. We go Landorus expecting the Electric move, but DJ sees right through that. I feel like Draco is pretty free, so there you go. A free KO onto the Landorus. Now Mismagius comes in, so it gives me an Iron Moth switch, catches it with a Psyshock.
Oh.
Okay, that's actually huge for the Hydrapple. Because now you don't even have to like mess around with Earth Power, and you can just attack what's in front of you.
Now?
Not a whole lot, let me tell you. And you have a regen core. If you want, you could just farm that up between the two of them. It's like 3 really passive guys and a Specs Raging Bolt or something like that. So TJ can still get progress, right? The ground type is dead. T-Bolt is free. Meowscarada is low. Like, T-Bolt should just be a KO when it comes in, but finding that positioning on Raging Bolt might prove to be a little bit difficult. Mismagius, Gliscor, it does have Icy Wind. Like, what's the plan here?
Like a threat. Yeah.
Icy Winds into the Ninetales reveals Heavy Duty Boots. But Mismagius not really threatened out by this. Can't just go for a Shadow Ball. Does so much damage as Blizzard comes out. Only 30%. So
30.
AV for the Mismagius. We're going to go hard Raging Bolt. This definitely feels like a mistake.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
This is
like a weird sequence, because now I think we go back to, like, you know, it's like, why did we do all this instead of just, like, you know, because, like, we had a sack initially from the Moth dying, so we kind of just, like, gave HP on, like, literally everything. Like, and lost our bolts. Like,
okay, this is interesting, though. Blastoise gets the Shell Smash off in Torrent range. And this Meowscarada, depending on the Gliscor investment, you would know if it's Scarf or Band.
Okay, now that we saw this, I remember why he did this. He wanted to scout if it was Mirror or before he went this. And then so he saw that it was AV based on the damage of the other guys,
Yeah, I guess. If I'm Fierce, I'm like really not concerned with the Smash Stoice, right? Because I have Toxpex and Hydrapple. I guess if it is physical with Earthquake, that would be pretty good here. We see an Ice Spinner. Does it have the Earthquake? It does have the Earthquake. Knocks out the Pex. I don't think that crit mattered. Maybe it did.
Do we have Sucker?
Here, Meowscarada comes in. Potentially threatening Sucker or like a Scarf Flower Trick, depending on it. It's Quick Attack.
Oh, Quick Attack.
Oh, Choice
Quick Attack.
Banded Quick Attack.
Yeah.
Finishes off the Blastoise. Really, so maybe you could say the crit with Shadow Ball ended up mattering there.
Potentially, yeah. Potentially would have been out of range.
I think your plan otherwise would be to farm regen with Hydrapple, which is a dangerous game because what if you just Shell Smash on the switch out, which is a very obvious move.
Yeah. Now it's just kind of
Joe,
because the Gliscor and Ninetales can't touch this, obviously.
Yeah, you just can Terra Blast here. Honestly, Hydrapple can randomize its move and probably win.
Yeah. It's only taking 10, and then like you have like you can farm regen a bunch more times if you need for some reason.
Yeah, but you don't even need. And their Blizzard 11. God, Ninetales is so horrible.
With Roaring Moon on the bench, you would like. I kind of forget why we have like if we misinputted the wrong Ninetales on this team. Like with Moth and then 2 Photosynthesis Mons.
They had the right Ninetales before mids, and then they decided instead of a Sun team with my Moth plus double Photosynthesis guy, I'm just gonna make it a Veil team instead, and more so lean into like Veil into DD Moon,
for this.
Smash Stoice. But I feel like on teams like that, you really appreciate your Gliscor to be Terra, right? You set your Veil, and then you can be like Terra Dark, Double Dance, Knock. Like a set like that into this team, Thanos, right? But you just don't have that tool.
They were talking about a reason why we made this change. I wasn't really paying too much attention to the SV drafts during mids, but yeah. So I don't remember why we made that change. I mean, like not like it would have necessarily made a difference this game. I just find it funny that there's a Ninetales on a Sun-looking team, and it's the Ice one.
Yeah. So now the big dogs have officially won the series, but we still have a few more games to go, including Dr. Geo and Wyatt won.
Oh, just like
Yep.
in the diss track.
Just like in the diss track, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might cover the diss track in between these series because it happened in between and it's kind of relevant.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you made it right before the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
one. Yeah.
But okay, Draw versus Dr. Geo in Oras. So Dr. Geo, a former teammate of mine, but Draw also a former teammate of mine, but you have to go back like 8 years to find that.
Yeah, that doesn't count anymore.
Yeah, it's expired. But Dr.
We have
Geo,
like a new
someone
slate.
who I think has improved quite a lot recently. And going into this game, I believe he's 2-1 record, but Draw definitely no slouch. Gonna make it difficult on him. So yeah, here is a Charizard Y team once again from Triggervi. L5 only makes diss tracks when his team is exactly one series win above 0.500. Yeah, that's like this feels like I saw a video on YouTube where it's like predicting the World Cup winner. It's like, well, the team that had the best player never has won, so that disqualifies Argentina. And like it was a whole like thing exactly like you're doing, and they ended up predicting Spain. So maybe there's something to it, right? But yeah. But okay. Back to this game. Zard Y, and Toe has been using Zard Y quite effectively. Is Draw your DCL co-captain? You did say so when you haven't teamed up in a while. My lawyer has
Spicy
advised me
rumor.
to neither confirm nor deny. Yeah. Alright, let's just get into the game. DNC going to lead off into the Skarmory. Good lead for Dr. Geo. Is threatening an Iron Head here. Does just go for it. DNC hard pressed to stay in here. So Dr. Geo could go
Did
for
he
Hazard
lost,
here.
Oh yeah, dude,
Yeah,
I remember this.
absolute
Dude,
beast
Dr.
mode.
Geo cooked him.
Yeah, staying in
Yep.
is just an illegal play for DNC, so pretty safe to click that prediction. Now Dark Pulse comes out as we get double Hazard into a DNC team, and we do have the spin block for the Blastoise. Hydreigon doesn't defog
Yep.
this gen. Tornadus doesn't defog this gen. These hazards are here to stay, it seems. So really
They're
nice
really
sequence from Dr. Geo, and now we can go Sylveon. It's not even a
Catches the Dark
sack.
Pulse.
And now Hydreigon switches out into the Metagross, catches a offensive Hyper Voice, it looks like. It's a Spidef
Looks like
Metagross.
Specs or Fairy Feather or something.
Now hard Zard in before the rocks. Really great play here. Now Stunfisk is going to be the sack of choice into Flamethrower, assuming he clicks it. We Flame Charge.
Flame
Oh,
Charge.
static.
Yeah.
No static. Okay. Fire Blast
Never
should pick
punished.
this off. Yeah. And Zard is just so strong, and now with the
I just want to say, this is like
Flame
a
Charge.
tight early game from Dr. Geo. Like every turn
Yeah.
has gone really well for him.
Now Dragon Pulse, just clicking what's in front of you. Draw trying
Yep.
to stall out the sun, it looks like he really doesn't have anything for this. Yeah, it's
Has
just
to
gonna
sack him
kill.
on, yeah.
God damn. Zard is so good. But now you can go Blastoise, and without the threat of Solar Beam, you can potentially threaten a spin, but Trevenant is here for this reason. Probably Natural Cure as well, just in case of Toxic or a Scald Burn. There is that Toxic, but a Shadow Claw comes out. I'm going to trade a little bit of HP, probably Horn Leech next turn. As Draw just willing to duke it out with this Trevenant. Like, I guess you don't have a great switch into Trevenant. I feel like you could go Torn here. Like, you could definitely go Torn.
Like I'm just looking at this game state, and it looks like Dr. Geo kind of like already has this in the bag.
Yeah, like-
it's hard to imagine what Draw can do now.
Mm-hmm. And now with Blastoise in range of hazards, like,
Yeah.
you can't even switch
No
and
point in
try to
saving it.
threaten later. Oh, it's Harvest Citrus
And-
Berry. So it's not
Get the
Natural
berry
Cure,
back for a good measure.
but it does do the job
It
of
did its-
spin blocking.
Yeah, it did its job already.
And now Sylveon comes in, should just be a KO here, or if not, like very close.
With the double hazard, this Metagross really can't like stave off the Sylveon onslaught.
Yeah, is
like,
it going to be
already
faster than
does hazards.
Sylveon? A Sylveon like this likely to carry speed, but actually slower.
Oh,
But
awesome.
Draw expects a switch to maybe Starmie or Garchomp tries to catch it. Not going to be the case. Sylveon goes down to acrobatics. Is insane. But now Starmie comes out, able to take the acro, no problem. Go for the Ice Beam, and it looks like it's a Starmie cleanup with a Life Orb. Is it carrying Surf? That would be the cleanest endgame. It's Hydro Pump, so it does connect. And that's going to be the game. So Dr. G
Pretty
really dominant. I'm
amazing
not
game
gonna
from
lie.
Dr. June. I was like, no complaints there. You know, like every turn was pretty much what he had to do.
Yeah. It felt like really well planned out as well. Like he knew everything that was going to happen in that early game, it felt like. And now,
Oh, not this game.
this one we will do from your POV because you're here.
Oh, sure.
Shout out Dwayne The Rock.
I can say a lot about this game. So like just off the prep, like I forget exactly how it happened, but you know, like kind of need Hydrapple to be the main defensive guy. Like we have a really offensive draft, and they have like, you know, a slower team with like a few offensive threats that are pretty strong into our team. So we kind of needed this Hydrapple to do the heavy lifting on the defensive side. So I think we had like a Terra, like water or like electric or something, like something that was resisting one of Chiyu's stabs. And then we just decided like, hey, wait, rock resists that in addition to Torn Hurricanes. So like, might as well be rock, right? More offensively threatening too. Which, you know, turned out really well because the Torn was like Terra flying as well, which makes it all the better. And yeah, prep-wise, that's kind of all I gotta say about it.
All right.
So we can start.
Do you want to commentate this one or just chime in?
Yeah, I don't exactly remember exactly what's going on, so like I'm just trying to like process what's happening so far. Like, yeah, this is like pretty much okay. So this Rotom was doing really well for me. It's like pretty threatening into his team, right? Because like it hits everything. It hits like the top 3 that you see there super effectively, and then Toxapex as well. And then Chiyu really doesn't want to catch a para, and then Alcremie like can beat it 1v1, but also kind of doesn't really want to catch a para, and like, you know, it's a bit slow. It's not really
also doesn't necessarily beat like nasty plot sets, which are definitely possible here. You're threatening a blizzard.
I said a couple times, so I don't exactly remember. Yeah,
some
I mean,
glasses.
this doesn't really matter here.
Yeah,
like
it's fine.
I mean, it would have done a bit of chip, but yeah. Okay, so here's a sequence that I like. This was like the main sequence that like came up, you know, in like the mocks and shit. Like needed to go Hydrapple and then Chiyu, but for some reason, like I just either never encountered or just never played out this way. I didn't like realize that I could get two-shot by something after Ruination. So like here, after this Dark Pulse just does like 2 million damage, I kind of like panicked because I'm like, wait a second, I didn't prepare for this at all. Even offensive Chiyu wouldn't have really died to that Terra Blast, so like that didn't really change the sequence too much. But like, I think that it revealed AV based on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, here I'm just like, oh shit, like I'm just fucked. Like I have no like prep for this like scenario, so I'm just like, okay, something has to die. It's gonna be Treads because like, you know, look at their team. Treads doesn't really do much here.
And then Thanos Supreme hits the field.
Thanos Supreme comes out. Yeah, this guy. I forget what my set is. I'm pretty sure it's AV, but this guy is like.
But you already
Terra fighting, but I already teared the other guy. I'm pretty sure it's AV because Habita's team here is like all special threats except like the tanks, which don't really like threaten much anyway. And Galate just has such crazy high spadef that like he can like tank Chiyu hits. He can live like unboosted hurricanes. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, speaking of living unboosted hurricanes, it allows you to just stay in here, fire up another
and
hit.
Then get some big chip here. And like honestly, like at this point, like we had lost the series and like this Chiyu kind of like owned me early game. So I was like kind of like playing as if I had already lost. But then like at some point, I think like after this Deoxys sequence, I start to realize like, wait a second, I can like kind of win now.
Yeah. Because once
so
Deoxys starts getting hazards up, this Chiyu, it's not boots. Like
exactly.
Everything's like super weak.
And then I kind of realized like once the Chiyu already kind of blew its load, like the Hydrapple is just like kind of unkillable. And then this Deoxys sequence goes really well for me. Because this Deoxys is just like max Vizdev helmet, just so that I can like pain split on Ting Lu forever, and like it doesn't like guaranteed beat it, but like basically like makes it
low
die.
Yeah.
Because if he had paybacks again there, after the pain split he would have died to helmet.
Damn.
And then yeah, I
Really?
just like yeah, I remember that happening in because like the Oxus base HP is just so much lower. It would have
Mhm.
okay, maybe not died to helmet. I don't
It'd
remember
be
the
like
exact like
dead
count,
to
but like
spike
you know,
probably.
yeah, exactly. It would have been like 5%.
But here, Torn pivots in on the pain split, and like this should be alarm bells, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Here's where, like, yeah, this is what I was saying that, like, I kind of was like playing like I had like already lost. I was like playing stupidly and didn't realize like I could actually like win from here. So like here, I was just like, this is probably Scarf. I'm just gonna gamble because like I'm losing. Like I didn't realize that like I was actually in a pretty good position despite like the rough start.
Yeah.
So here I'm just like, yeah, I have a dedicated switch into this, but for some reason I tried to gamble and T-wave this.
Mhm.
Which like obviously was not necessary at all, and like this Deoxys was still really useful.
It was,
So
yeah.
that was a pretty terrible turn from me.
Now Dwayne in double
Yeah.
to Frost guy, and we actually hit the
Yeah,
Blizzard
like-
this time. This is good.
I felt like Chiyu wasn't coming in, and that's the only punish for this Misto Vortex thing.
Yeah.
And then I also got the farm free regen too.
Yeah, and here your
Um,
Hydrapple is regen enough where you can make this play.
Exactly, yeah, and then the Chiyu is low too. But oh yeah, here I think here I get two shot by Dark Pulse and I don't
Yeah.
kill it yet with Terra Blast, so I just make the call that he's gonna Dark Pulse. The other thing is Torn revealed that it's Scarf, which kind of makes my booster speed Val like useless because it's not gonna break through like Hex Corv and then like you know he can just revenge it with Torn anyway. So like here I kind of just like use this so that next time the Chiyu has to take Spike again, and then that time my Hydrapple can just stay in and kill it.
Yeah, really good stuff. And now this forces a
Yeah,
Terra
and then-
Blast, right? But he U-turns
Or the
like a
U-turn,
beast.
but the thing is U-turn here, like there's no real punish anymore to this Dwayne, right? Like it
Yeah. Like, what do you go?
there's only like yeah.
Oh, whoops. Wrong button.
Like I mean like it's not like Dwayne beats everything that can come in, but like there's nothing that can come in that's gonna like immediately threaten my team, you know? It's like Corv, Hex, Alcremie, they're not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
Like if I just switch out to
And
another
here's
guy.
the Pex, but this is always free entry for your Rotom.
Exactly, yeah.
And you see 39, this is an offensive Toxapex, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I will say the big dogs love their offensive Toxapex
They do.
on these SP teams, yeah.
But also, crucially, look at the electric resist. Like,
Yeah.
They
It's
don't
just
got
free
any.
discharge, I think is what I have. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
gets the
like-
para. God, 41 is insane.
And then what's really nice here is that being low is not that bad because I can pain split on the Corv and the Alcremie, so it's like pretty nice
Mhm.
still.
And Chiyu comes in, but you still have that full HP with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
And then now it is in range of Terra Blast, so I can just stay in
Mhm.
and like do some stuff. Okay, now here Alcremie, Alcremie is hard to prep for. We brought the heavy slam for it because the calm mindset, but he has the iron defense here. Then when I saw this, I was like, I am like just boned. Like
Mhm.
I really need to keep the Rotom alive to para this and to like annoy it with pain split. Is that what I go here? I think I scout a little bit more.
Yeah, see, is it Calm Mind? Is it
Yeah, exactly. Because I know
Here,
it's not like gonna kill my
recover-
Hydrapple.
Recover surely
so I
coming?
force the recover so I can get the big pain split off. And like
Mhm.
he's obviously going Chiyu. Yeah, so I Thunder Wave so that I can stay
You
in
cover
and
both,
kill
kind
it.
of,
because,
yeah.
like,
A
Yeah,
para
yeah,
on
'cause,
this
like,
is
T-Wave-
good. Para on everything is good. And you can
Yeah,
react
exactly. So
accordingly.
it just covers everything, yeah. And the switch out is obvious.
Yeah. And then
But
here,
here's another huge mistake. Like, I need this thing to para and then annoy the Alcremie, like try to stall some recovers with pain split and stuff like that. I have a dedicated answer. I honestly cannot explain why I didn't switch Hydrapple here. Oh,
You
I
did.
did. Okay. Then I do the same
good
thing.
job.
Yeah, a few turns later, it'll be the same situation, and I just sack the Rotom, and I cannot explain why.
Mhm. So here you force the Roost, or a Defog, I guess, and this
Yeah.
allows your Rotom to come in and get another KO. It's
Yeah.
like every
so
time
that-
this Rotom
is
comes in
huge.
is a kill, basically. And then
A
you're
kill
like,
or a para, right? Like,
that's enough for me.
yeah, so I don't know what I was doing here. Like,
Yeah,
it's the freest
I get
Hydrapple switch, and there's no punish from him. Like, I
Yeah.
just don't know why I do.
It really feels like you can just go Hydrapple and like Heavy Slam, right? Because if
Yeah.
Alcremie comes in, it's taking half. kind of has to recover acid armor, and then you get your Rotom Frost in, and then you just split.
Because the Hydropple can just force it to a recover turn, and then it's an easy Rotom switch, and then I split and shit. Yeah, that would have been so much better than what I did.
And then here, Haba just commits to the last one, Alcremie.
Yeah. Then here, I also like definitely fumble. Like, I think, okay, so here I was like, okay, I just lose. I need to just go for a crit with the Psycho Cut. But you'll see later that I definitely had like a better play. Like, it still would have. This crit doesn't really matter that much. It just means that like I got one less Psycho Cut, but whatever. Doesn't really change that much. So here I realized like, wait, I can just go this and it's last mon. Like I can just spam this and like reduce the attack. But like if I did that first, my Gallade would have had like way more Psycho Cut chances because like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be like a 7-hit KO on your Gallade. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like it was only doing like 30 through the AV. So like, look at how low this Spatak gets after the sequence. Like imagine if I had just done this first and then done Gallade.
So now it's a 1v1 and he reveals the Calm Mind.
Yeah, the only way I can kill this is with a crit heavy slam at this point. And then I get it.
Sure,
yeah.
Just do that.
Like, I did like okay, it's a bit weird because like I did have a lot of like chances to get that in the bank because like I'm AV max HP and then he's like minus whatever's attack, like he's still gonna boost a bunch. But the thing is like this crit doesn't KO from full, so like if he had like regen to full, like I would have needed a crit and then he's faster and can still recover like on top of me. So like I'm definitely really lucky that I got that like right away because if he had healed up, the crit wouldn't have been enough.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So Trickavai rallies miraculously to cut the lead to only 5-3 after the series is over. This is so sad. So that is week 6 for Trickavai. This is so sad. And now we go on to week 7 for Trickavai.
Right,
but
Trickavai.
There is a little bit of a video I posted on my channel. Let's pull it up real quick. Now let me pause my music real quick because this is important. So, as you probably know, me personally, on Trickavai, I have a bunch of friends, right? A lot of friends. And before the season started, I thought it would be really funny if when we play, I just make a diss track. So, that's what we did. Let me get the dimensions close enough. So, I made this diss track with Glop, and it was super fun. It's all just like between friends mostly, and then like a little bit of Skyhorse diss thrown in as well. But I was really happy with how this turned out. So we're gonna play this, and then we're gonna see the week 7 match between Scovillains and Trickavai. Now keep in mind, Scovillains, like, and Trickavai, we've won a very similar amount of games. So like it's not, I don't want to be like we're punching down at them, because like it might look like that, but it is a bunch between friends, and like it's all for a good time, you know. But I'll just share this with you.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh!
They say an aye captain, but you know they never listen. Guy is Thanos, but his team around him simply isn't winning. Drafted my son, gave him unlimited ring to have fun, but Dookie is done, he had a good run. Willow Whisperer, I think that Wyatt won? No, he didn't. Just the Kyle Chris extends to when he ain't the leader. Damn, history repeater, man, alliance in a spot I ain't win either. But John, I'm stinging you like a Beedra. You haven't racked up dozens, who some H/ was legal, bitch. Trick of eyes like a one-headed hot dragon. But John and Skyhurst used to be good, but man, those days gone. The us historically winning the draft. This system retort that messes the crap. Chip skin cake, Greg, just got a savage. They got Skyhurst to bring in the average. I'm calling at
Dude, that line is so tough.
Like 0-3, let's make that 0-4, and we done going on a spree. You best believe the villains keep momentum. No one toe is free, keeping it low key. Even dogs know that you'll never be elite. Ay.
Damn, that was
And then this is Dawn Midst.
Wait, holy
Guest star.
Yeah.
fucking gloppers.
Who's that God.
Got the clearance from the fight to make a killing. My first appearance by great mind of the scope villains. Instilling fear in pussies like Harris. He's so bad and he's mad that can end up the acronym who's dad. I'll gladly bag the body of whoever I fight and swish. If it's Skyhorse, get on all fours like Rock Midnight, you're my bitch. A
Crazy
switch
line.
trip past the bottom of the standings. Be grateful OG's fat ass will cushion all of your land. You'll end the tour without winning a single game of champions. My race
Can confirm it cushioned our landing.
tantrum. Nobody's invested in TJ's game of the week. Not even chats I can understand the freakish way that you speak. Speaking truly when I say the series done. If the best your team can offer is Dr. Gio and why it won. No rocket science here, it doesn't take a doctorate to know school villains fuck you like we're maxed on Rhino chocolate.
Oh my god, my dick is hard.
Guest star dashing Kev.
Oh, so good. But
I think that Wyatt won. No, he didn't.
I was so happy about that.
It was a good piece of content to end off the season.
It was.
Well, some of our seasons.
Okay, back to the regular stuff. So that is what happened before all these games. Just to clue you guys in. Now, in our diss track, we made a few claims. You know, we said you'll finish the tour without winning a single game of Champions. So we'll see, because our Champions isn't great either. So it's not super high odds, but we'll go for that. Said let's make that 0-4 when we done going on our spree. Turns out I actually pulled the Owen matchup, or he pulled the King 05 matchup. So we played each other. So I got a chance to like make that one come true potentially. What else did we say? Bunch of stuff. But now we went to week 7, and it's Trickify versus Scovillains. At this point, Scovillains kind of need to win this one to make playoffs. So we're playing for a lot actually. But Trickify, they're pretty much out, right? So as long as we win or tie, I think we're pretty much in playoffs. I think with a tie, other people would have to lose like catastrophically. Like there's some sort of like sequence where we can miss,
like,
but we're probably good, you know? But okay.
You guys were like basically locked, and we are like
Basically out.
like,
Yeah.
like definitely out.
Yeah, like categorically out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we're like actually out, and you guys
Yeah.
are like 99% in.
Yeah. Let's go Villains POV, because that's my team. Alright, so Berna versus II. Alright, so Berna having a pretty solid season overall, but II 6-0 going into this. He just has plot armor. You know, so we'll see if Berna can stop the undefeated season. If you lose, it gets dicey, yeah. I thought with a tie, it was like if Huge Power and Guardians won, then we were out. Maybe not though. I don't remember. Not super important. Okay, Berna versus II. There's the Uxie lead off into the Gyarados. This is a Mega Gyarados, so pretty solid into the Uxie. Can just go for a Crunch if you want to. There's no Dark Resist. As Stealth Rock comes out, we do just go for that Crunch. Culver Berry, though, is going to be okay. Avoids the 2-hit KO barely. But a U-turn into Blastoise is coming. And Crunch only does 30%. It reveals a red card, but gets Clefable, so Fable should be able to get rocks up here. But instead goes for Moonblast as Charizard comes in. I believe we had HP Rock on this. Yeah, we did have HP Rock, so I pivots out into Uxie. And now it really feels like Berna has a solid lead. Maybe with rocks up, it's a little bit annoying, but definitely getting some good chip with his Clefable. And now a switch to Nidoking with the Yawn active. Catches the Skarmory switch. Now Nidoking threatening a KO potentially here. Maybe a Flamethrower, maybe a T-Bolt. Goes for T-Spikes though, so II more so focusing his early game on getting these hazards up and playing the long game. But Gyarados is getting progress right now, you know?
Yeah.
And again, we're switching around, taking damage on a bunch of things. A huge T-Wave stay in on the Kartana, expecting a Skarmory switch, and that's going to earn a KO and a Para on the Charizard Y. Really good stuff from Berna, but now Zeraora comes in. And with a T-Spike up, it's really hard to switch into this guy. Just gonna stay in, right? But he goes for a bulk up, catches an earthquake. This Gyarados has gotten so much damage across. Like,
This thing has done like
yeah.
250% and got a para. Like
Yeah.
it's been pretty.
And now we go Garchomp. Do we see like a Plasma Fist here? Oh my god, he's in his head. Is this Scarf Garchomp? I guess I doesn't have a way to know. But at this point, he can't afford to scout. Fortunately for him, it is not Scarf Garchomp. And Devastating Drake is enough to knock it out. Now Clefable comes in, able to take the +1 Plasma Fist. It does a lot,
Barely,
but
holy shit.
we are able to knock it out with the Ice Beam. Would have covered a Nidoking switch as well. Now Kartana comes in, knocks off our Life Orb for the KO. And now it's 4-4 with hazard advantage, but definitely an HP advantage for Erna. Yes, thank you. But now Gyarados comes in. So you're probably locked into the knockoff there, as it's probably Choice Scarf Kartana in this matchup. And we're just going to get another KO with our Gyarados. This is like insane value out of the Mega Gyarados. Now Kartana comes in, and this time going to go for a Leaf Blade. So Skarmory can come in here. Potentially go for a Defog, although I don't think we have Defog here. But this is a really crucial turn here. Charizard does come in, but we double to the Zero Aura. And this was a mistake. I'll go over it after the game. But now Nidoking comes in on our Plasma Fist. So it gets the play wrong there. And now we go Mismagius on the Nidoking. Catches a Sludge Wave, so that's good. Now we can just kind of go for the Shadow Ball. But we are slower than Nidoking, unfortunately. So a little bit of... what's it? Zazo EVs? Trick Room Mismagius. The aggressive creep does not pan out there. Nidoking does just knock us out. Now Zeraora comes in, can go for a knockoff or something of the sort, goes for a return, is going to be Choice Banded return, brings the Charizard very low, but a double to Kartana can come out here as it is Choice Scarf, able to absorb the return, and now Zeraora taking all of this T-Spike and Rocks damage means it might not be able to win the end game, despite, you know, being able to kill everything. Because here, Skarmory is actually going to go down to the cart. Actually, the cart just doesn't switch. And there we go. But I want to go back a little
Close
bit.
game.
So
Dude,
here...
it's kind of interesting. It was kind of like a Gyarados like 1v6, and he was like the Gyarados was winning for a bit.
Yeah. Gyarados feeling like II right now. got 7 kills, still lost. This is so sad.
Yeah.
But here, our Skarmory actually does have Rock Slide. So being able to take a KO here is probably the move. I think he maybe expected a Nidoking switch and just wanted to get like a banded knockoff into the Nidoking and then try to win with Skarmory later. But the Charizard being parried is like it's like really bad for I. Like, this Pokemon's useless. So are we gonna go Nidoking and give up Chip on the Mon that checks Zeraora? Or are we just going to sack our Charizard, and if it doesn't have Rock Slide, then you can get a Flamethrower off? Like, obviously we're going to go to our Charizard. So this was like a misread of the situation from Berna, where, like, should have been able to just take that Zard KO, and I think the game pans out a little bit differently had that not been the case. Or had that been the case, you know? But okay. 1-0, and now we have TJ versus Theo in Champions. So your guys' Champions, not super good. Ours isn't great either, but the last few weeks Theo has been piloting our Champions, and he's had more success than you know, the rest of the people that have tried. So there is that.
Just sending them to the wolves until Theo was the first to claim a win.
Theo using this like Palafin Garchomp team, a little bit of flip turn, U-turn into breaker kind of stuff. You have Volt Switch as well. And basically matchups where Garchomp is good, this draft is good because you can just manufacture so many Garchomp opportunities. And here, Garchomp is like reasonable. It's not Thanos, because there's Mudsail and Rotom Wash, but it's not bad either. Like, it can get through those guys with like Surf, Draco Meteor, like mixed coverage kind of thing. So yeah, get into it. Quaquawa will lead into the Palafin, gets the form off early. Just gonna flip turn. And we get our Belly Bolt onto the field as close combat comes out, only does 47%. I say only, that's so much damage. But Belly Bolt able to shrug it off with Slack Off, but now Mudstail uses the opportunity to get Rocks Up, right? But Toxic gonna put Mudstail on a timer. This is important for our Garchomp and our Scizor. And now a Muddy Water actually catches a switch to Glamora, I suppose. But we're just gonna go into Scizor as Mega Glamora is a big threat. We don't want our Belly Bolt taking that chip. We do have the J-Ricky Scizor. Able to shrug that off at least one time. Now Quaquaval comes in, and I feel like this may have been like Black Belt, because those close combats were doing a lot of damage. But maybe that's just Adamant Max, I'm not too sure. Rotom comes in, revenges, allows Serena to come in. This should be a Rapid Spin here, gets rid of the rocks as Tinkaton comes in. Now Swords Dance Tinkaton is actually faster than +1 Serena, so we actually get the slow U-turn into Palafin. Will the Wave Crash kill from 87?
We'll never know.
Yeah, well, we won't know because Rotom is going to come in to absorb it. Now Garchomp comes in on the discharge, Theo making a nice read there, and now Megachomp goes for the Stealth Rock, gets them up on the Pain Split turn, and now Serena can come in, punish the Hydro Pump click, and now it's just a free U-turn. No real punish from TJ's end. We go Tinkaton, but the U-turn into Palafin, and now with Rocks Up, you can't just go for a flip turn. This Tinkaton is not set up, so there's no real threat. Right, so a flip turn into the Rotom, Serena comes in, can just U-turn. We're stuck in the Vortex with Rocks Up, and yeah, it's just a freebie for Theo in this situation. Eventually, you'll have to stay in and take Big Chip like TJ did there. And whenever you do, we just go Belly Bolt, right? And we just Volt. Like, I guess Mudstail can come in, but Mudstail comes in, you just get your spin off, and the cycle continues, right? Then we go Palafin. Okay, fair enough. Because now Rotom can't switch into like a Wave Crash, so it's just a KO. Yeah, flip turn into Garchomp. Sure. Should force the Meowscarada in, and it does, threatening the triple Axle. Just go Belly Bolt because you have 3 chances of static this turn. If the Axle is clicked in that U-turn, you still have the chances, but doesn't proc. Mudstail gonna force this out with a threat of Earthquake. But a nice double to Glamora. Should be faster than our Megachomp, but maybe can't kill from this range. And we're just going to go for a Surf, maybe expecting the Mudstail to come in. The J-Ricky saves the Rotom from being in range of Draco Meteor. But just going to go for it anyways. Catches a Hydro Pump crit. Not going to matter too much, right? Low HP Garchomp, who cares? Knocks it out with the next Draco Meteor. Now, Meowscarada comes in for the Revenge KO. Going to just go for the knockoff. But crucially, it is not...
Oh, it's not Protean.
Protean, yeah. We saw that earlier, but I guess we glossed over it. Now U-turn into the Serena, but J-Ricky keeps us healthy, goes for the U-turn into, I assume, the Palafin. At this point, Theo doesn't have to waste time spinning, can just go take the hazards, it's fine, because every time Palafin comes in is a KO at this point. So you can just play the short game, totally fine. Now Glamora comes in, should be pretty safe to just click flip turn or Wave Crash, literally anything, right? Everything wins this end game. There's gonna be flip turn, knocks out the Glamora. There's just gonna be Gengar coming in. Is this Scarf Gengar? I guess we'll find out here. I guess we won't find out. It's just gonna be Sucker Punch disabled. But now our Palafin, I believe, is Choice Scarf, right? So at close combat, just gonna knock it out, and that's gonna be the game. So that is now what? 1-1 in the series? Yeah. So
Yeah.
Theo evens it up. Both captains winning their games so far. But now we have Killer versus Lejon. And I actually helped make this paste, so I know pretty much everything about it. Alright. The Coco is going to be our initial switch to stuff like the Urshifu and the Lycanroc, as well as the Torn. It's very bulky Coco with Rocky Helmet to get some chip, as well as some like U-turn to manufacture turns for our Choice Banded Victini, which is actually really strong here. He does have 2 water types that are quite bulky, right? Urshifu Rapid and the Rotom Wash, but V-Create, it just does so much damage. Whereas they can switch in once, right? But we have switch-ins to those guys. So eventually our Victini will break through. And whenever these guys come in, we can just go Coco or Pharaoh respectively, and it's a pretty good time. Our Hydreigon is Choice Scarf Physical, because you can get that surprise KO with Head Smash onto the Torn, as well as it just checks things like a Scarf Nidoking, which is a totally valid thing to bring into Victini Coco. We wanted something faster than that, as well as, you know, I believe we have Beat Up to get through stuff like Colbur, Bronzong, and do a lot of damage to that, because they don't have great Beat Up switch-ins. Like, the only switch-in that doesn't get to it KO'd early game is going to be that Urshifu, and getting chip on the Urshifu, hey, I'll take it, you know? Our Blastoise is Spadef, Spin, Lefties Protect, and Flip Turn. So this is designed to keep hazards off for our Victini, for our Coco. These are Pokemon that don't really like rocks being up, so if we can avoid that situation, then we will, right? It also serves as a good Nidoking answer, which is their main rocker outside of Bronzong. So one of these two was coming for rocks. I think in Mox we saw more Bronzong benches. Maybe not, but like we're prepared for either, you know? And then our Mamoswine is actually Choice Scarf, Rash Nature Freeze Dry, which will come up later. This is to 2-hit KO Rotom with Freeze Dry, 2-hit KOs Urshifu with Freeze Dry, and the only Freeze Dry resist is Bronzong, which is Victini food. So if that comes in and it stays on the field, I'm happy about that, you know? I'll take a free Victini turn. So that's the idea behind the build, kind of really just positioning our breakers and then setting up for an end game for one of our Scarfers. But now Torn leads off into the Hydreigon, and this is exactly what I talked about. Bang! Lured immediately. So can't ask for a better start. Now Nidoking is going to come in, as they know we're locked into Head Smash and can get up rocks or go for a big hit, whatever they want. So we're going to go Blastoise. Takes the Earth Power. I believe that is going to be an offensive Nidoking with Life Orb. So it's going to Sludge Wave, bring us into Torrent range, and our Flip Turn is going to bring this into well and truly Victini range. So gets that big V create off. Rotom is going to be physically defensive with leftovers. Makes sense here. We're going to go Hydreigon here. Catches a Volt Switch. But now what can come in? Lycanroc Dusk is going to come in. When you see something like this, you say, okay, it's either going to Cell Rock or it's going to be Choice Scarf. Either way, our Coco is a great pivot here. So we're going to go Coco and get some Rocky Helmet chip onto this Lycanroc. And now we have a pretty free U-turn here. If Bronzong comes in, this U-turn, while it doesn't put it guaranteed in range of V-Create if it is heat proof, I mean, this is as good as any chance to go into Thanos and V-Create, right? So just going to go for it, but this Bronzong is heat proof and does get a relatively low roll, I'm guessing, because we did kind of theory craft what kind of Bronzong spread would run heat proof and weakness policy, which it does end up being. And that sort of set, it would be a roll at 80 whatever it is, 89. Unfortunately, we don't get it, or maybe they're bulkier than we thought, but either way, our Victini goes down. But it's up for a trade on the Bronzong, which honestly is not even that bad, because now look at our Scarf Freeze Dry Mamoswine. Basically kills Rotom from this range, 2-hit KOs Urshifu, kills Nidoking, and Lycanroc we have our physically defensive Coco to switch in. We have Ferrothorn, which is also Choppleberry, right? So it can trade into that pretty comfortably. And our Mamoswine endgame is looking fantastic. We can go Hydreigon, go for a U-turn KO. Really good stuff. And now Mamoswine hits the field. This invites Urshifu, but again, we have our Coco, we have Ferrothorn as well to pivot in potentially here. But we're just going to sack Blastoise. This is totally fine. Just get rid of that. Reveal Life Orb on the Urshifu. So this is quite interesting. Means that this is probably going to be hard to switch into, right? But our Scarfers don't have to worry about Scarf Urshifu. And yeah. Now our Coco's going to come in. And we just do what here? We go for a Dazzling Gleam. Because Nidoking is in 2-hit gear range. So Dazzling Gleam is like basically a KO. If Rotom comes in, we follow up with a T-Bolt. And that's going to be Rotom down. Now Nidoking comes in. We can't kill it from 32. So we're just going to switch to Hydreigon. Sack it off to a Focus Blast. So a nice read from Lejon. But now Mistoswine can just come in and click Freeze Dry, right? 2 KOs everything. You can't legally go Lycanroc because Earthquake is like the obvious click here. Like Freeze Dry is a tech that we're revealing, and Lycanroc is your win condition, right? So they go Urshifu and they get 2 KO'd by Freeze Dry, and we win the game. Except Killer doesn't see the line properly and just goes for Earthquake, allowing the Urshifu to get a hit off. And then goes Ferrothorn on the close combat, gets the turn wrong. Maybe expected a liquidation there. Now we are going to basically kill the Urshifu with Iron Barbs and Life Orb, but the problem is now we've lost our Ferrothorn. And while Coco can come in, we go for a Roost, which is also not correct. I think Dazzling Gleam was just totally fine. But the problem is now Nidoking forces a KO, or like close to it, right? I don't think our Mamoswine can pivot in very comfortably. It would be in a Cell Rock range anyways. So I guess it would be in whatever range. Like, it doesn't need to be a Cell Rock because it's Scarf. But yeah. And now the Scarf Lycanroc can just go for the close combat. I mean, we kind of knew it was Choice Scarf Lycanroc from the CC play earlier and how it was being used. But yeah, definitely a Freeze Dry into the Urshifu, I think probably clinches the game. So I think the pace was really good. Like, self-glaze a little bit there, but a few turns like not quite correct, as well as just or just watching any random Toe replays. So we're starting off with week 6 Toe, which is the series that we didn't have time for last stream, and then we're starting with the Scovillains Toe series in week 7, which is the current one. So Lechon actually ends up winning this one with the Scarf Lycanroc, and that's going to put Trick-of-Eye in the lead 2-1 as we go on to Jimmy G versus High Crocs.
The only time we've heard that all season.
Yeah. But okay, Jimmy G post mids, he's kind of Thanos. Speaking of plot armor, right? Jimmy G definitely has it. And now he's playing up against High Crocs, someone, you know, on the weaker side for Toe's roster. I think he hasn't played too many games in the series, like mostly been riding the bench. Am I correct on that? I feel like I am. But here he's playing against Jimmy G in Oras. And we have this Mega Bayonet team, which we're bringing. Pretty cool. And you guys are bringing Charizard Y, I believe. So there is that, and we'll just get into it. Lando going to lead off into the Garchomp. Stealth Rock goes up, handshake emoji. And now we're going to switch into Staraptor, which is going to be Intimidate, and actually just hard walls this Garchomp Rocky Helmet Fizdef Staraptor. Only Jimmy G, right? Just for the Roost, allows Electros onto the field, but we have a Bayonet to come in, I suppose, onto the Coil. Now we just Mega Evolve, go for the Wisp. Misses the Electros though, so Thunder Punch actually hits and gets the para and the full para on the D-Bond turn, but he coils trying to predict the D-Bond, and now D-Bond comes out, another coil. Here another D-Bond because you can in Oras, but doesn't get it off because of the para. This is so sad. Now we have to final Gambit with our physically defensive Staraptor. Only Jimmy G, man. No one else can come up with this. But puts it into Mienshao range, into everything range basically, so the Eel does end up going down. Now Skarmory comes in, I'm gonna go for a Roost, trying to just, like, what, scout out the Mienshao set. But now Focus Blast Lando is gonna get massive chip on the Skarmory, basically puts it in range of the whole team, and now Weavile in, you have to just sack the Skarmory. So, really good sequence for Jimmy G there. Now Starmie comes in, should be a spin here to free up the Charizard, but instead of T-Wave comes out, totally reasonable as well. You can T-Wave into spin on anything. But now a slow U-turn into our Landorus on the Starmie. So now a switch to Jirachi on the Surf. I guess we just don't... a little bit of a silly play there. Now full para trying to get rocks up maybe there. Keep them up, but no such luck. Now Lando in on the Earthquake, gonna double to Mienshao. Trying to call a switch? I don't know, this is a little bit of waffling, I'm not gonna lie. But Mienshao onto the field, goes for HJK. 85% into Drapion is insane. But the Protect Drapion Oh, but he doesn't fall for the HJK. But we miss anyways. Like, bro. That is really unfortunate. Now Lando comes in, gets the rocks up, but is going to go down to Aquatail, and it's looking pretty good for Hycrox here. Weavile is able to hit the field, and just goes for an Ice Shard and knocks out the Drapion. But now Garchomp comes in, so this is like Yachi, I guess, banking on the fact that we're locked into Ice Shard. But in fact, we are never Melt Ice. So that's... we're able to just Ice Crash, and because it's a stronger move, we just burn through the Yachi Berry and it just dies. Now Starmie comes in, and we Pursuit. Might look funny, but we just don't have knockoff on this phase. So, able to kill the Starmie in exchange for the Spit, but now Charizard comes in, and Charizard into the last two could live a Weavile hit and then knock out the Jirachi after. So, Charizard should, by all accounts, just win the game here. But we get a little bit of justice for that HJK miss and the D-Bond full para, and all is well in the world. Jimmy G with his plot armor hits the next Icicle Crash, and we bring the series to 2-2. Alright. Shout out to Jimmy G. Tough for you guys, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I mean, like, our series is over. It's like not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Alright. Cheems Enjoyer speaking. Yeah. Alright, now we have Reverse Tracebacks versus Hydra. So Hydra, I think it's been floating between Swish and SV this season. So here, you starting in SV. This is a little bit of a mirror matchup, right? You have your Hydrapple mirror. I guess that's kind of it, right? But it feels like more mirror-y than it actually is, maybe. Yeah. Both are going to be Terra Ghost on the apples, which is interesting. Our Terra Ghost is designed to spin block the treads, obviously. Yours is probably to spin block the Terrapagos, so fair play. But the problem with your guys being Terra Ghost is that our Weavile is really strong. Maybe you say you have Overquill, you have Iron Valiant, so it's okay. I can see it. But okay. Let's get into the game. Terrapagos lead into Deoxys Speed. That kind of rhymed there. That was tough. So King L5 disses Toe and then hacks you guys, but you are being friendly with him. On God Wyatt, grow a backbone, SMH.
I mean, like, what do you want me to do?
That? You gonna take that? Damn. Yeah, fair to assume, Clover. I think I agree with that. Okay, turn 1, Trick Deoxys. Probably trying to catch something like the Skarmory, or I guess we're just catching the Terrap here. But now Psychic Noise, gonna bring our Rotom down to a crisp 79%. Did you see this, by the way? They trick a Mental Herb, which procs on the Psychic Noise. That's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. That's a funny interaction.
Yeah, but we do get a Volt Switch critical hit, which just activates the J Ricky, so yeah, not really a big difference there. We go Hydrapple, then double to Terrapagos catching the trick, and then they trick back. So this Deoxys is just a magician, like using Slay of Hand. But here a superpower breaks the shell as we just go for a Flamethrower. This is now choice locked Terrapagos, so to take advantage of the Flamethrower, we go Hydrapple and just going to get a nasty plot off, which is pretty scary. Yeah. And now we get drained into the Skarmory. Now, does this Hydrapple have a move to hit the Skarmory, or is it just going to be like Terra Blast Ghost? It is going to be Terra Blast. Does 60 as we get up a Spike. Now here, Trace just going to go for a Roost, but Hydra inexplicably switches here. I don't know why he did this. We have +2 Hydrapple, pretty healthy, into Skarm. Terra Blast is a KO. Like, why didn't we just take it? I don't really know.
Yeah, I was wondering that in game 2. I remember, like, in the team court, we were talking about it for a bit, and I forget the conclusion. So useless information. Sorry.
I think I have a theory. It's that with double hazard up, he really is prioritizing the spin. But our Hydrapple is Terra Ghost, so he really needs to rush it before our Hydrapple finds its way onto the field. And if their Hydrapple kills our Skarm, right, there's nothing stopping our Hydrapple from being speedy and just revenging with a Terra Blast, right? So in his mind, he really needs to get the spin off now, because he can't play the game with double hazard disadvantage. That's just, he'll lose, right?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah.
I think that's the explanation here. But what it actually ends up looking like is Skarmory Roost basically back up to full. We see a rapid spin on the weak armor Skarmory as the Skarmory goes for Swords Dance.
And it becomes Thanos.
And now Thanos Supreme is in the building, because the only flying resist is the Iron Treads itself, which is hard-walled by Skarmory, especially your guys' set, which is like even more hard-walled than normal. Because your Volt Switch, Earthquake, Rapid Spin, probably Stealth Rock, right? Like full utility treads, and we're like max Videf Skarmory. So your best move to hit us is Volt Switch for 21. Like, that's no good. Now Brave Bird into Hydrapple here, we can always Roost, or we can always Swords Dance, right? Because to kill us, you need to Nasty Plot, right? We can just Roost if you Terra Blast. So a Roost is coming here. And if you go for the Nasty Plot to try to break our Skarm, we SD, and then at +4, our Brave Bird kills. So it's like win-win. And now, Iron Valiant comes in on the Skarmory. It won't kill us with anything, but it does have the Trick Scarf, which is like the only way to get out of this without sacking like all 6 Pokemon, basically. Computer, show me Thanos with sour cream and tomatoes. I think that's gonna be like a new bit. Like low-key, that is so funny to me. There's like layers to that one. But here Brave Bird is gonna knock out the Valiant, and now we have +4, +2 Choice Scarf Skarmory. It's gonna be getting a few more kills here. So it gets an Intimidate off, and then just goes Hydrapple, basically to sack it or just farm recoil, right? You get 2 Intimidates, a nice critical hit there, but J. Ricky. So we're gonna get a kill with our Skarmory. So maybe less disastrous than it could have been, but still 2 KOs. Hydrapple's chipped. A good situation. Now we can just go for the Terra Ghost Hydrapple endgame. Because like nothing else really beats this guy. We're like AV with yeah, just attacks for everything. Giga Drain into the Arachnid, and you're gonna see this Arachnid goes for Hydro Pump. Reminder, we're AV, like pretty bulky. So 70 is like 3 choice specs stacked onto this Arachnid. But thankfully our Rotom is able to take that. Goes for Volt Switch, but I don't think Treads kills our Rotom here, so it's really no problem. Goes for a Hydro Pump. It is a 2-hit KO on Hydrapple, but we miss. At this point, our lead is like pretty big, right? Air Volt Switch into Weavile. See another recover. We see a Nasty Plot there, so if this is Colbur, we could just get a kill here. It is Colbur, but it dies because our Weavile is Choice Banded here. Alright. They're not allowed to stack 3 specs. It's not Champions. There's no item clause. But okay. Now Iron Treads with no item is able to take the knock. Goes for a spin, trying to like get the speed boost for like a reverse sweep. Like, it's pretty down and out right now. Needs to go for something. Is not able to get it done. Trying to fill the bingo board space. It might be too late for that. And reverse tracebacks with a pretty dominant win here, with Skarm having a particularly great showing in this game. Yeah, Corviknight could never, you know what I mean? 50 special attack, it still does 70 to AV Apple. Yeah, it's kind of insane how strong this Arachnid can be. But okay. What's the series at now? We're up 3-2. Yeah. And now we have... Get the soundboard for it.
Bonus round.
Bonus round hits the field. Yeah, so this game is gonna look pretty interesting. This is my first like real Swish game, and like our team is beyond out. Oh yeah, okay, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I'm against my good friend Glop. Like obviously this is probably not the most optimal prep, but you know like the vibes of the team is kind of like, you know, we're kind of just like running whatever at this point because like our season's over.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like fooling around completely, like because you know some players are still like trying to get good records and stuff, but like
Like
yeah,
you, of course.
that sets the tone for this game.
Yeah. And then Glop, I'm not gonna lie, he said when he saw Garbodor, he was like, "Uh-oh, worst case scenario."
Yeah.
Probably not, right? Like, surely
Yeah,
it's in his head.
Garbodor, like I'm looking at Glop's team, like surely he's got something for it.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I thought that was funny. But okay, you see
Yeah,
level
yeah.
1 Whimsicott, you know it's going to be some, like, Endeavor Sash, something or other. But we have the Spiritomb for this very reason, right?
Yeah, I mean I'll get into the Whimsicott stuff when it happened.
Right.
Yeah, so here, okay.
Nala the
Um,
Garbodor.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, Nala. Well, okay.
No, you're not.
Not really sorry.
You're
But
not.
anyways, yeah. So I think like I'm some kind of like Spikes Infestation like Stomping Tantrum set, and like I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't
Yeah,
really mock
TSP.
with this space. So like I just saw my set and I was like, oh, Infestation, funny move. I'm clicking that and seeing what happens. So yeah, I click it, and then I think this thing comes in, and I was like, oh shit, I got him. Like now I can Stomping Tantrum him, and I guess it works.
Yeah, and the Misto Beam comes out, but Stomping Tantrum's going to kill the Nihilego, so
Yeah.
Nala gets a kill.
So here I was like, damn, I got a kill. What was I gonna say though? I should have just spiked turn 1, like if I knew what I was doing, because like
Yeah.
he went to the thing that like you know what I mean? Like he went to that to stay in with it anyway, so like
Yeah.
the infestation didn't really matter.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me explain. Like this looks very strange to
To outsider eyes?
anybody
Yeah.
who might not know me, but okay. I saw a Ferrothorn on Glop's build and like a Celesteela and all this shit, so I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna level 1 Endeavor, and like that's the best I can get out of this Whimsicott, you know what I mean? Like what else is it gonna do? And then I kind of just like didn't even realize he had a Sableye or Spiritomb, which I guess like same thing here, you know? And then like in the game also, I just didn't even like see that he had that on the build. So that explains why I clicked
vision
the Endeavor
problem.
there. Yeah, like if anybody is confused why that happened, like your opinion of me is too high. So yeah, that explains the first thing.
We really
And-
price tanking for DCL, are we?
No, like this is consistent with how I play. And then
He said,
here,
"This the
okay,
real
this
me."
Encore
He
looks
said-
strange.
He said this the real
Wait, did I
me.
try to leech seed him? Did I try to leech seed him first? What
You
did I
did,
do?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, the leech seed I was like, oh, on Endeavor's my only attack, I gotta leech seed him. And then I forgot that like
You've been
like, I
playing
didn't
Oras
consider
too
that he's
long.
immune to yeah. I didn't consider that he's immune to it. And then okay, the Encore, yes, I know he's immune to the Encore after I saw the leech seed immunity, but at that point I was like, it's a level 1 Whimsicott at 9%, like I'm just sacking at this point, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Get a free switch.
yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Jace Scarf
So-
the Blaziken.
Anybody who
fails to
thinks
get
I was
into a
win
KO.
trading, that is not true. I'm just really bad. Sorry, guys.
This is so sad.
Yeah, and then like, dude, if I got this roll here, I think I had the game. No, I'm joking. I definitely didn't. But like,
Yeah.
it's funny.
Now, T-Spike going up is really big. Hits the Garchomp and, crucially, the Necrozma, right? Both of these really impactful. And now Zygarde can come in, and E-Speed always going to pick off this Blaziken. With T-Spike up, this Zygarde is, like, really Thanos. We have a full HP Feeny, so just going to go to that on the Garchomp. Blocks a Scale Shot, which is nice. And now, we're just seeing an Earthquake from Life Orb Garchomp. Wouldn't have 2-hit KO'd, but now with Moonblast and Poison, it's going to go down. Scizor comes in, but we have full HP Steela. King L5 Post Nuggets. Yeah, the fattest Pokemon of all time. Yeah, real classy. You do have the Akaberry, so you're able to get up to +4 And Superpower comes out, but we are physically defensive on the Steela, so able to
I
take that one.
Here, I was just like, oh, like the
gotta
only
go
way
for
I'm
it,
winning this
yeah.
game is if like I like crit on Superpower or some shit at +4, and then Bullet Punch randomly kills everything.
Yeah. To be fair, like a Spid F Steela, maybe you could have had a win path there. But alas.
Yeah, I don't remember what the like rolls were like and shit. I'm assuming that's like most Celesteelas would have lived that if without crit, but yeah.
Like it would have to be more than max HP.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. But here the weakness policy and like foul play. I mean Spiritomb is here specifically for the Necrozma. And of course for the level 1 Whimsicott, but I did say in our team server.
It was mainly here for the level 1 Whimsicott, right?
I did say in my team server because Glop was like dooming about some Whimsicott that doesn't exist. I told him like it's more likely that they bring level 1, and here we are.
Look what we brought. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay. Now we're up 4-2, right? But we really want to win, right? For like the standings, like seeding would be nice to be 1 seed, right? And if we win the series and the dogs tie or worse, we get the 1st seed, which means we get first pick on who we play in semis, which is a nice advantage. So we still definitely want to win this series, right? And so we have McMillions versus Kyle. All right. That was Terragrass Goldango. Is that a real thing? It's there for the Ogerpon and the Quaquaval. Like, we have double offensive water and a land OT, so it kind of makes sense. But definitely doesn't help you into the Iron Moth, so they need something sturdy for that. Maybe AV Blastoise. But yeah, definitely needs something for it. If I forgot about the 1 seed curse, oh, don't worry. Dogs have that. But spoiler maybe. So Fairy Moth, Water Quaquaval, which is interesting. Now let's get into it. Ogre Reverse Swell 5. Yeah, that's that's a mouthful. With the Darkrai gonna lead off into our Ogerpon Wellspring. Forced out of there by the threat of Sludge Bomb, so just gonna go into Tinkaton on the Will-O-Wisp. So Wisp covered Tinkaton and the Ogerpon, so good play there. Now taunts to prevent rocks or T-Wave. Catches that. Now Iron Moth comes in on the Nightshade. Forces this out into the Blastoise. We go for Dazzle Gleam, and it is Assault Vest Blastoise. I feel like I see so many AVs in these draft games. Like, it's insane these days. Okay, Ogerpon comes in. Forces an Ivy Cudgel onto the Goldango, but Terragrass physically defensive. Able to shrug that off, no problem. But what this will do is allow rocks to go up. In exchange for a Nasty Plot, okay. But we are Mold Breaker. We could be carrying Encore here, so I guess they're just not respecting that at all. But it's going to work out because we don't have it. Lol. So educated guess maybe, but we do get the T-Wave off, which is nice. The Iron Moth is going to come and force this out into the Blastoise. Do we see a double here? We see a Fiery Dance. And we get the boost, so we could stay in to try to punish the spin. We go for Morning Sun. Feels a little bit not necessary. Could have just attacked there. And now Dazzling Gleam is going to put this Blastoise into Torrent range, and you know, it's also funny. This is a speed tie this turn. So we saw the Rapid Spin, Liquidation, then Dazzling Gleam, then Morning Sun, and Liquidation. So this is a speed tie right now. So yeah, good EVs, huh? So we have to root between a team that has only 1 more win in the regular season than the 8 seed, or for the team that could break the 1st seed curse. This season, Mickey, remove it from history. Yeah. Well, who's to say? Here Reverse able to get up the Spike with the Ogerpon, and now just goes for a Power Whip. Latias comes in. We're going to pivot to Roaring Moon and go for the Outrage, which doesn't quite knock out the Latias. Going to catch a T-Wave for its troubles. And now we're going to see a switch to Darkrai, meaning this Latias might not even have Draco Meteor. Reflect, T-Wave, probably Light Screen, and maybe Luster Purge? Or Mist Ball, maybe Healing Wish? Probably Healing Wish, right? Probably 0 attacks. Regardless, Roaring Moon's going to stay in here. Goes for a U-turn. as Darkrai gets some chip off, but now the Iron Milkman comes in, taunts the Morning Sun, which is nice for Kyle, but now just going to sack it to the Fiery Dance. Now Ogerpon Cornerstone comes in. It could be a speed tie here, but not willing to risk it. We see a Horn Leech back up to Sturdy on the Roaring Moon sack. But now we go into our own Ogerpon, goes for the Ivy Cudgel, gets a crit, does a lot of damage, but could be a speed tie here. Who wins it? It's going to be Kyle who wins the speed tie a second time. So Ogerpon going to make it out alive, but the Sturdy is broken. Now Orlando can come in, absorb that Ivy Cudgel, which maybe we should have gone to this first, but now we go into the Quaquaval. Lucha comes in, and we have triple Axle, so 20%, we only get one hit. Now depending on this is like J-Ricky, maybe we would have killed this, but it's we 20, 40, and then 60, right? So altogether is 120%, so not quite enough for Citrus plus full HP. But regardless, it would have been at like 5% if it was Citrus. But here we just sack off the Quaquaval to plus 2 CC. Lando comes in, can go for a Psychic to knock this out at -1. And it is Citrus Berry, so the Quaquaval would have, it wouldn't have killed, but would have done a lot of damage. And now Psychic into Earthquake will knock this out. Latios comes in, granting an Ice Beam, is just going to go for it. We don't have a switch in, so this is probably a speed tie then. And they get the speed tie. So that's going to be Kyle taking the game. It's now 4-3, 4 Scovillains, and now, hey guys, Thanos Supreme here, and I get to play against Owen. Let me bring this back to
that Dragon. But John and Skyhurst used to be good, but man, those days gone. The us is skin cake, just cause of savage. They got like a Skyhurst to bring in the average. I'm calling out one more, I'm owning Owen, more like 0-3. Let's make that 0-4, and we done going on a spree. You best believe the villains, momentum, no one toes.
Will it come true?
Can I make the dreams of the Scovillains come true in this game? Now, I'm not gonna lie, this matchup is hella good for me. So, let me show you what I mean. I believe the term is show, don't tell. So, Rotomwash gonna lead off into the Nidoking. This is a great lead for me. I can just go for Wisp. If this stays in, I get to find out some information on this, which is really important for later. And if they switch, a Wisp on anything is fantastic. They're gonna go for Rock Slide, which is fine. I'm okay with this going into the game, playing with Rocks up. And now, I can just go for a Hydro Pump. If he switches to Lax, totally fine, because I have text for this. I'm going to Volt Switch on this. This reveals Max Spadef on the Snorlax, but I do have an Alomomola, which is Rocky Helmet with the rarely seen tech. It's here. Curselax, you might think, beats Aloe, but I have Tickle. Tickle with Helmet, Wish Aloe. This Snorlax is never going to break through. So, I will get a Wish in the air as he goes Cofagrigus. Actually, no, I Toxic as he goes Cofagrigus because I know he's not going to stay in. And now I'm going to my Nidoking as Nasty Plot comes out. And here, Owen, I will say this is a fantastic Cofagrigus set. Because my Nidoking is specially defensive this game, but it's not able to 1v1 Cofagrigus, so I'm just going to get my Rocks and Trick Room. Uh-oh. Dookie is fully set up. Aloe pre-flip turn is truly a Pokemon. Yeah, I agree. Maybe Owen is the real Dookie Whisperer. Why, are you gonna take that?
I'll let the game speak for itself.
So your Shadow Ball, even at +2 though, because I am max Spadef on my Nidoking, doesn't even 2-hit KO, which is kind of insane. But it does get a drop, which is 20%. And my next Earth Power would have killed, but well, it would and it wouldn't have, because you're going to see here, I'm okay sacking my Nidoking in this position, but he reveals to be Rest, Chestoberry, Spadef, Nasty Plot. And this set, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now here, I'm basically forced to sack my Nidoking, which is going to be important versus the Zapdos, but I do also need to stall at this last turn of Trick Room. So I'm going to go to my Rotom, because my Rotom is also Spadef. And this Volt Switch chip, crit didn't matter, but the Volt Switch will put it into range of my Specs Superior. And now, take a look at Specs Superior, and then take a look at his team. Snorlax chipped. Cofagrigus in range, about to give me a boost. Zapdos, okay, I'll give you that one. It's still at full. Cobalion actually dies to +2. Gallade easily dies to +2. Nidoking was lead rocks. And it's burned. I feel like if it was Scarf Nidoking, I would expect Poison Jab, because it hits my Gardevoir harder. I don't think I'm switching out the Superior. Leaf Storm knocks out his Cofagrigus. Now we go Zapdos. Now, a little bit of context. He took forever to click Zapdos on this turn. So, initially I was thinking, okay, I'm going to get a KO here. He's going to go Zapdos. I'm going to force Rock's Chip on it. And then I'm going to get a switch into my guard or something. And, like, Gardevoir's pretty good here, right? With Snorlax so weak. Go for Hyper Voice, get some good progress. But that was mainly fearing, like, T-Wave. But then he took, like, a solid 3 minutes to click this move. Like, we didn't have to play with timer on, but it was, like, quite a long time. And so I was like, there's no way he actually has T-Wave. Otherwise, that's like frame 1, you're clicking it. So I'm just going to risk it. I'm just going to go for Leaf Storm. He reveals to be specially defensive. And I'm like, you probably just have like Heat Wave to hit me. He goes for Discharge. 30%. Do they get the para? And they do not. And here, all I need to do is hit 5 Leaf Storms. He says GG. The game is over. Now Nidoking comes in. Like, this could be Scarf at this point. But again, I'm kind of hedging my bets a little bit because Scarf, I expect to be physical. Maybe with Ice Beam, but Ice Beam from Scarf won't kill me at 68. And it's not Scarf. It ended up being Focus Sash, actually, as the lead. And my Superior is just going to Leaf Storm the entire world. Bang, bang, bang. So Thanos Supreme does it again. And that's going to be Trick of Vi's season completely done. Now I did want to spend a little bit of time after these 2 series talking a little bit about Trick of Vi, because Wyatt, you were on the team.
Oh, yeah.
What went wrong for you guys? Because this is the DPL season 10. Like this roster, it's not horrible, right? You have Hydra,
okay.
Great player. Kyle, great player. II, fantastic player. Dr. Ju, up and comer. OG Albina coming off of a good DWL. You coming off a good DWL.
So
what
like
went wrong?
obviously I'm just like a player on the roster. Like obviously like other people on the team have way more insight than me. Like probably like the captains and maybe some of the players. It's interesting because like we didn't really have like an implosion, like Phantom Thieves style or whatever they were called, like with like beef and stuff like that in the server. Everybody was like pretty pleasant towards each other actually. I think it's just like I mean, like, I think the easiest way to say is, I don't know, like, we either just didn't work well together, or we just like, not that we suck necessarily, because like most of our series were like pretty close, like either ties or 3-5. I don't think we actually had any like blowout series. I think it's just like our roster doesn't like seem that bad, but it's like it's still like on paper seems like one of the weaker ones to me, like, and I include myself in that. Like, I'm not like trash talking my team necessarily. Like I think that like we spent a lot of budget on we spent a lot of budget on me, Kyle, Hydra, and like none of us really had like super terrible seasons. Like I think actually we all got 3 wins exactly, but like we didn't have any like star player other than II, that's like getting like 5+ wins in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like we had like a really good pickup in Dr. Geo. Like he was 3K and performed really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think we were just like kind of a mediocre team. Like we I mean, like other than II, we didn't really have any like super standout performances.
Yeah.
I think like some of our drafts were pretty bad. Not necessarily anybody's fault. It's just like that's how they ended up. And then like, I mean, I can speak to my own season. Like, I lost a lot of games to misplays. So like,
Mhm.
like I don't know.
Yeah,
I would say
for me, it is a little bit of a drafting issue, as well as like, okay, we just don't have any like good champion teams. Like, you literally went
yeah, like
defeated in champions.
yeah, like we have like a whole sack tier. Actually, if you look at all our tiers, I think our only tier that didn't go negative was SV.
Yeah,
And
or us
maybe
went positive.
yeah, or us a bit positive. Oh,
Or
I guess
even
Usum
maybe?
too. I guess I'm just okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think my
even.
stat was other than the 2 Charizard Y teams, we went
Yeah,
negative
yeah.
in every tier. Yeah,
So shout out to Charizard Y, I guess. Like,
yeah,
goddamn.
It's like it was rough all around.
I think
Yeah.
part of it is like you copied a few like team styles that are like really specific to a certain player. Like this, everyone knows that this is a Craig team, right? 100p. And we also know that that team is horrible, and it only works because Craig is a good player. And so you're trying to like, oh well, Craig can make it work. I bet we could do something similar to that. And then you just go 0-4. It's like, yeah, I think a lot of people could have seen that one coming.
Yeah, like I can't really speak to most of these tiers because I didn't really like
Mhm.
pay much attention to them because I was never really going to be the one slotting in them.
I also think having you in charge of all of the ORAS drafting was probably unwise, just because
I wouldn't say I was like in charge, but like I was definitely given some like
some leeway
autonomy
to do whatever
which,
you want.
like you know,
Yeah. It was like
I
you're,
don't
you're
really
still
necessarily
new.
know how the metas
You're,
works.
you're still new to ORAS.
Yo,
right?
Wyatt, connect to fucking audio. We're starting.
Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, we're gonna move Fiend for a sec. Anyways.
Are you saying
what
that
was I gonna
Switch
say?
toe
But,
players
so I
are
tried
bad?
to experiment a bit with ORAS 3 in particular. I think that like the draft wasn't necessarily bad. I just like in like I just prepped and played it pretty poorly. But yeah, like I mean, we just weren't too good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I actually got some thoughts from Dr. Geo about his season as well. Just because I was curious, like, how's the team environment and stuff? Like, it sucks to lose all your games or like tie. He said the biggest reason for Toe's lack of success was the champs drafts. I felt like they were pretty far behind the meta. And like obviously that was the case, right? 0 and 8 in the tier. Like really bad. And then like depending on if champions was double or not, you basically had to go 5-1 or 5-2 in the other tiers to win the week, which is just really hard, right? You can't really have a full sack slot in the DPL format because of the mechanic of like both teams can double a tier.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. The other like super rough tier was Swish, right? You're like 2 and 8 in Swish. That's really bad. He said, to make a quick point, I think we were good, but the tier requires you to be great. This is like the argument for the gauntlet, right? Where like the average player in your average Swish game is a really good player, right? A lot of really good players just prefer Swish, and that's how it shakes up more often than not. And while you do have Hydra, who I think is a great Swish player, maybe like the drafts held him back a little bit. And then like when you have subpar drafts, right, and you're playing against really good players, those subpar drafts, like you can tell, right? It's a big problem. Because there was no internal implosion, everyone stayed committed. Like he even said the captains did a good job, but maybe just the dice didn't roll your way a few times, and because all the series were close, right? You never lost a series by more than one game, and you had some good ties against some good players as well. So maybe just what can you do? I mean, surely there's something you could have done, but you know what I mean. Mix of yourself, Caps, and some of your helpers, yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, this is a common criticism of Trick of Eye just over the years. Like, their drafts are usually not the highlight of their season, to put it nicely. Like, II is really good at drafting teams that he can win with, but when it comes to having teams that other people can draft with or that can play with and win, that's where they tend to struggle a little bit more, right? Okay, I think that's it for the Trick of Eye segment of the stream. Any parting thoughts on the season? I'm not gonna lie, like that week 6 series, I thought you played really well, and that's against like the 1 seed team. Like, Oh, we're deafened. Alright. Well, I had to step away, I guess. Well, that's gonna be it. I guess we can move on now to the next series. Did you get people who know how to draft for DCL? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we've seen Trick of Eye have good drafts in the past, and when that does happen, they're like playoff contenders, sometimes winning chips, right? I think Trick of Eye as a franchise has won 2 Team Tour chips. One was pretty recent in the Switch Tour, and one of them was DPL Season 5. And I remember that DPL Season 5, like, they actually had some, like, banger drafts. Because they had youngster Bill, and Bill at the time was, like, one of the better drafters, or something like that. Like, he was a good player. He was able to help support the team. You know how it goes. Alright. Next up, Huge Power versus the Big Dogs. This is an important series for Huge Power. Less important for the Big Dogs, but still, they would like to win this one for the 1 seed. Indeed, I had a draft I liked, though it was definitely unconventional. Yeah. Who is Orsteinbach? Like, what's your the name you go by in Mons? I think I know, but I think I forgot. Like, I knew at some point. To put a little bit of stakes in perspective, Huge Power, I think, had to win. Let me pull up, because they had was it this? Yeah. So this was the playoff picture. So this series actually mattered quite a lot, because if Huge Power loses this series, they're out of playoffs. But if they tie, they can sneak in and eliminate the Nature's Guardians. But okay, so high stakes for Huge Power, less stakes for Big Dogs, right? It's really just seeding that they're playing for, or, you know, just showing some dominance, right? Okay, Toxic versus Nim. This is a matchup of 2 players who are actually undefeated going into this game, right? Am I remembering incorrectly? Let me just double check that. Okay, no, Nim actually did lose 1 game up to this point, I think. Did he? Yeah, Nim was 5-1 going into this, and Toxic was 6-0. So, clash of really fantastic stuff. One of them has to lose. spoiling the results of the other series. You'll forget by the time we get there. Don't worry. Or you just already know, right? A lot of people in this, they already know. But we're here for the game reviews. So yeah, two great players using two proven successful drafts. Let's just get into it. Uxie going to lead off into the Terrakion. Now, Terrakion lead could be a few things. Could be Sash Rocks, could be Choice Band, could be Weakness Policy, something like that. We're going to see a Trick Scarf Uxie lead, and it was Focus Sash Terrakion with Mega Horn. So it does 2 KO the Uxie, and just going to click it again as Melmetal comes in. We do have a Toxapex, we have a Zarude. These are Pokemon that can come in on the Melmetal and kind of neuter it a little bit, especially if this Specs is Rocky Helmet, which it is. So Melmetal with Protect, or Lefties you would expect to be Protect as well. But here, Zarude, nice double on the Uxie, catches that and able to go for a Darkest Lariat, breaks the Dragonite multi-scale, so unless this is a Roost, that's good progress. Here, a Hurricane from Dragonite, get some chip on Jirachi. Do we see rocks go up here? No, it's probably rocks on Terrakion, right? We see a U-turn into the Togekiss. Rocky Helmet Primarina is going to get T-waved here as a flip turn. Slow flip turn comes out into the Melmetal, farms up some of those leftovers, threatening the Double Iron Bash. Pex should come in here. Actually just going to Double Iron Bash into the helmet again. Feels like Toxic probably should have seen that coming, but just going to click it now. Again, the double to Zarude. Catches the Earthquake, also would have caught the same Uxie play from earlier, so just a good play from Nim. And now the Encore locks it into Earthquake. Going to be forced out by the Zarude. Now what is taking the Zarude hit? It's going to be Primarina. A little bit scary there. If I was Belly Drum, I would have just tried only a little not to make it look like we were completely throwing to give the first seed curse to Scovillans. But alas, they probably lose finals now because of it. Oh, did I say Belly Drum? It's big dogs, obviously. Okay. Give the first seed curse to Scovillans. I think if you're so scared of the first seed curse that you're gonna throw games, you don't have the mentality to win in the first place, right? Winners win. First seed is like objectively better than not having it. So it's just like, oh, don't walk under that ladder. You know, like, come on. Okay, U-turn on the Prim, gets that Rocky Helmet chip on the Zarude, but now Togekiss comes in and can potentially go for an attack here. This Air Slash that actually does 2-hit KO the Weavile, which is a little bit surprising. So an offensive Togekiss there. And here we see the Togekiss at the very least does not Choice Scarf as Weavile doubles out before it into the Uxie, catches Toxapex, should be Rocks up here, prevent all of these free switches that have been happening for the first 15 turns. And Zarude able to recover up, but Melmetal going to use this a little bit as lefty's fodder. Probably I would expect to see an Earthquake turn here, as the U-turn to Toxapex is pretty obvious, but again, we're just double Iron Bashing into the helmet. Feels like Nim has this one on lock, at least like early game, and now the double to Zarude again, like, kind of is fine, but there's the reason why he's so willing to click double Iron Bash into helmets. He has Rest, so probably Rest Talk to attacks, which maybe it's designed to like run out Nim from recovery PP on something like a Synth Zarude or Recover Toxapex. But here a knockoff removes the leftovers, which is going to be a big cut to Melmetal's survivability. Now Zarude comes in on the predicted Earthquake, but it's going to be another Rest instead. Totally fine. Because Darkest Lariat is doing 16. This Melmetal is hard to remove from the field. And you can't just Sleep Talk, kind of just waste Synthesis PP in front of the Zarude. It's Rocky Helmet too, oh my god. This Melmetal, like, it can't kill anything, but it also can't be killed, so we might be here a while. Let's see. Now finally going to Encore into Earthquake, and we get a U-turn into the Togekiss, and another Air Slash is coming. Like, we don't have Flying Resist. Oh, but the Uxie's faster with T-Wave and gets the full para. This is quite bad for Nim, actually. Like, Togekiss was a really solid progress maker. And now it's just paralyzed with no boots. Weavile comes in, goes for a triple axle. Like, this guy is just... How much damage has Helmet done this game? Oh, only gets 2 hits. So the Weavile lives, actually. That's kind of unfortunate for Nim. But still, whenever Weavile comes in, you still have that Helmet to knock it out. Not the end of the world. Now Dragonite in. So Dragonite can actually make some progress here with Hurricane and like Flamethrower coverage. Because Pex comes in, but now what? Yeah, you can just Hurricane again. Jirachi comes in, takes a big amount of damage. And now, like, what do? You turn into a Helmet? Like, this is a good sequence for Toxic. But now Terrakion comes in. Can Terrak kill this Primarina? Not even gonna go for it. Oh, this Heat-Wave! Not punished. Gets rocks up for free. Doesn't like all this free switching that's going on. Doesn't want to play at a hazard disadvantage. And now another Rocky Helmet hit. Like, Rocky Helmet probably did like 500% damage in this game. Not gonna lie. Yeah. And there's another 32%. Darkest Lair on the Dragonite switch and actually gets a critical hit. And that's going to mean that Dragonite has to get out of there, back into the Melmetal. And now what? It's just like a Synthesis? Melmetal has actually only 1 turn slip, so you can just go for another Darkest Lariat. Okay, Primarina comes in. Zarude's low, but it really feels like Toxic's on the brink of, like, despair. And Toxic goes for Gunk Shot, knocks it out. Melmetal comes in to burn its last sleep turn. We go Zarude. Do we get the Sleep Talk Double Iron Bash here? We get Earthquake! So we can just synth this off. Goes for a Lariat though, because if you attack into Zarude, I'm just gonna die next turn, so it's fine. Hands crossed like an evil mastermind. And here we have to play this whole song and dance again, getting Melmetal in position, but one more Synthesis, so Melmetal is stalling out the Zarude. Just taking a while. And here another rest. Back up to full. And the threat of Sleep Talk, you can't really switch to anything. Not safely anyways. I'm gonna see a U-turn probably to Pex. We go to Jirachi. This will die if you pull an attack, but doesn't go for the Sleep Talk trying to preserve PP. And the Healing Wish comes out. Who are we Healing Wishing though? Togekiss get rid of the Para. Fair enough. You can get a roll of Earthquake or Sleep Talk here. And that'll be good for the Togekiss. There it is. Okay, so 2 KOs with Flamethrower. Gets out of that one alive. Now Gengar comes in, has to take this big chip. Now Togekiss has to get out of there. Into the Zarude. So just going to sack this off. Only 1 Synthesis. I kind of get it. Kind of has done its job here. Now Weavile into Weavile action. Just going to be a sack. Heavy duty boots on both sides. Now Dragonite comes in to get some chip on Weavile. This feels like pretty scary for Toxic. Now Melmetal in. Takes a low kick. Do we get the Sleep Talk? We don't even go for Sleep Talk. And it looks like Nim is just going to clean this one up. Yeah, the Ice Shard. Knock out the Weavile, and that's going to be the game. So Nim takes down the previously undefeated Toxic to put his team up 1-0 in the series. Really good stuff from Nim. Really fantastic season. And yeah. Now game 2, we have iPro versus Hell's Librarian. Who is Hell's Librarian? This is Vinny. Okay. Yeah, Vinny. Here we have a Swish game. We have this like Coco Kyurem kind of thing with Slowbro core, defensive core, lots of momentum to get your Kyurem in on the field, your Lycanroc in on the field. Like these two Pokemon really thrive in teams like this, where you have so much momentum to give them turns, because usually when these mons come in, they're getting progress, right? Either big chip or kill. But they don't come in very easily on their own, so they need that U-turn, that teleport, that Volt Switch. And here this team provides it, so we'll see if Vinny's able to capitalize. Coco leads off into the Mew. A pretty safe lead for the Coco. You could just go for a taunt, I suppose, prevent any lead hazards, which Mew does go for. And now you can have a Nature's Madness into Rotom. Really good chip here. That chip is going to be really important for the Kyurem, as well as, you know, making Corviknight less of a nuisance. Or like, less annoying to use the Corviknight itself. Now another Nature's Madness catches the Mew. This time Mew's probably going to go for an attack, because we know the taunt's coming. And there's a Super Fang. So a lot of... a lot of similar stuff going on. Probably can just go for another Nature's Madness if you want to. The Roost feels like okay, I guess. And did you catch that? Chat. What set is this Crocodile? It's going to be Choice Scarf Crocodile, because it switched first on the double switch, faster than Coco. So, Choice Scarf Crocodile, what does that tell us? Well, Rock's on Mew, you could always start to suspect it. Moxie as well. So there's some signs, right? But now we know for sure. And I'm looking at it like, if this Coco ever goes down, or if this Corv ever goes down, now you have a stab with no resists. Anger point clearly? Probably not, right? So we need to preserve both the Coco and the Corviknight, otherwise this Crook could be like endgame reverse sweep. Here a nice double from iPro gets the Rotom Heat on field. Gets a Toxic on the Coco. Oh, if we allow an Overheat here, it doesn't go for the Overheat. I was gonna say, an Overheat on Coco would be like really devastating for this Crocodile matchup. Here Crook is gonna double once again into the Rotom, catching the Corviknight. Don't really have another play besides Corviknight, so I understand that. And now a nasty plot as Coco comes in. Why did Coco come in? Surely you just go Kyurem there, right? That feels like a mistake. Not going to be punished though, because Slowbro able to shrug off the Overheat and knock out the Rotom Heat with a Surf. Okay. Now Surf is interesting, because this gen does have Scald, but there's a Feeny on the other side, so maybe you just want more damage, as well as like the main thing you're surfing is like Cinderace and Crook, which you'll take the big damage anyways. Or maybe you have Toxic, and you prefer to Toxic stuff like the Mew. But then you get Synchronized, so... I think it's just for the extra damage, if I had to guess. But now rocks do go up finally from the Mew as Lycanroc comes in. Crunch is pretty obvious here, but we go Aegislash anyways and we're not punished because a Play Rough is coming out. This is obviously trying to catch the Crocodile, which I think by all means should have come out. I don't know why Aegislash was the pivot there, but clearly worked out. And now Corviknight comes in on the Aegislash, has revealed leftovers, so a defensive Toxic set more likely, and actually catches that perfectly. Now gets the Defog off, removes those rocks. Now Cinderace in, but we do have a full HP Slowbro, so can just go to that. Catches a U-turn into Mew, so probably Rocks going right back up if I had to guess. This does allow a free switch into that Lycanroc Dust once more. And this time probably you will see a Crunch. Yeah, there is the Crunch that we were expecting last time. Gets a defense drop on the Aegislash. So that is interesting. We see a King Shield trying to get the drop on Lycanroc, but Sucker Punch really smart there. Which would have covered the attack and also covers the King Shield. You don't get the -1. Really good stuff. And now you can go for a Crunch. Gets a defense drop on Feeny, but probably still not willing to stay in there. We feel no leftovers anyways. And it's actually Life Orb Feeny. Life Orb knockoff going to remove the AV from Slowbro, so it's not teleport at all. And that's going to be a 2-hit KO. Knockoff into Moonblast. Stunfisk the pivot to Feeny? Oh, it's Calm Mind. Something far more sinister. A second Calm Mind? Stunfisk cannot go for like a status move here. Oh, but Substitute might be able to stall off the Misty Terrain for like a Toxic here. Do we see another sub? Yeah, so a Toxic is almost certainly coming. And that's going to be how we get through this Feeny, I suppose? Yeah, there's the Toxic. Okay. Pretty reasonable. And now a Surf comes out and knocks it out, but with Life Orb and Toxic racking up, this Feeny might get a few kills, but it will die eventually. Okay, it might take a while. The Draining Kiss is pretty strong. What else we go do? Corviknight. Probably a Roost here. Double to slow, or maybe you just die because it's life orb. Yeah, you definitely die. And then now you're so low on the slow bro, the Beso doesn't heal enough to heal the toxic. But man, Feeny went on a tear there. Got a few kills, and now if you look at the endgame Crook, like Crook is really good, right? You just get a little bit of chip on the Corviknight, which looks like Vinny is offering right now, if you want to take it. Or at the very least, this will allow a switch to Cinderace if the Roost comes out. So it's like a lose-lose situation for Vinny. Either the Cinderace comes in for free, and you're like kind of fucked, or you U-turn and then the Crocodile knockoff sweep is like inevitable. Here, a nice critical hit knocks out the Lycanroc. Certainly helpful, but not necessary at this point. I think iPro has this one. Because yeah, Corviknight can't really click any move into Cinderace. And now Kyurem has to come in, you have to like dodge. This Pyro doesn't kill. Oh, we do dodge! We dodged the HJK. Oh, hold up. I believe Roost. I'm gonna 62 though. So we DD up. Do we Roost here? We're trying to fish for another miss maybe? Okay, a U-turn. Into Aegislash. We've revealed this has flash cannons. We have to get out of there. Into the Corviknight. Yeah, this feels like iPro just has it, right? Because Vinny's not making real progress. iPro is. And you can't exactly go Kyurem here. Because Pyro Ball into HJK is a kill. Why do we switch? Why do we U-turn? Okay, we might be selling a little bit. Mew's in. Mew can get rocks up. It can also taunt. Okay. Yeah, this was a strange sequence, I'm not gonna lie. Because now Kyurem comes in and lives any hit. Barely lives because of the Blaze boost, right? But does live, gets the DD, Shadow Claws, but now Aegislash? I guess, yeah. Yeah, you kind of have to, right? Here's Taunt on the Aegislash. We get a Shadow Ball. We get a drop, so no Mirror Armor on this Corviknight. I think eventually Aegislash will break through this. It was just a Mew. That's totally fine. We can taunt Super Fang. It only has U-turn to hit this. Yeah. Yeah, pretty easy sequence there. Yeah. Alright. So now what? That's evening up the series 1-1. And now we go on to game 3, which is going to be Champions Hunters the Infected versus Clash of Critters. Who is this? This is Fagos. Of course it is. Right. Not gonna lie, I'm getting pretty tired. So I'll probably finish up this series and then we'll finish the other two Week 7 series maybe later today. I'll get some food and stuff. Or maybe tomorrow or something. I don't know. It is a little bit tiring. Oh. But okay. So at least get through this series. Hunter versus Fagos. Right. Our Shadow going to lead off into Sylveon. Great lead. It was actually Scarf Sylveon. Does insane damage and just freaking dies. Okay. Or maybe that's like max speed's Fairy Feather and it's a slow Archaludon. I don't know. But Archaludon is going to go down. We see Shuka Berry +1 defense. Not quite enough to live the Earthquake. Now Medicham comes in, and we don't really have good Medicham answers. You can see Sneasler is the pivot in, but gonna catch that CC turn correctly at least, and the J. Ricky Citrus Berry gonna heal it off. You're threatening a Gunk Shot here with a -1, and there's a Peck, so Hunter not inclined to stay in. But a double to Skarmory is gonna allow some spikes to start going up, or you can just fire off some Brave Birds, but it's gonna be that spike opportunity as Dragon Bolt comes in. We're gonna go hard Hydreigon, expecting a Wisp. And the Scarf Hydreigon going to force this out, most likely. Can go for a U-turn if you want to like call the switch to Pex or Slurpuff. But instead, just going to Dark Pulse for 40%. So physically defensive Toxapex, it looks like. which makes sense into Sneasler and Palafin, and you want to live one into Mamoswine if you can. Totally reasonable. Fishes for a flinch there, but no such luck. So now I'm going to go Skarmory on the Chilling Water. Okay. The Pex gets out of there at full HP. Skarm has to go for -1 attack if it goes for it. But another spike is up. And the only removal is Mortal Spin. So these spikes are going to be pretty annoying for Hunter. He Dragon Darts, brings the Sneasler very low. It's going to be at 2 at KO. Down it goes. And now Mamoswine in. Is this Scarf Mamoswine or is it just bulky? Hunter goes for Protect, trying to scout the Scarf Mamoswine, and well, that was Roxa for free. Now it goes for a Wisp, but a switch to Skarmory, okay. Interesting. And now Scarf Hydreigon does just kill the Dragapult. I don't know why we stayed. Maybe with all the hazards up, it's a little bit too annoying to switch, because maybe Slurpuff is a win con set. If it is, it can come in now, and there it is. Do you have Belly Drum here? Do you have Calm Mind? It's, wait, the late game webs? I don't think that really matters, right? Because the Scarfer's off the ground. Mamoswine comes in, it's just going to claim a KO for that. And now we have T-Spike and webs up, so Palafin's maybe a little bit sad, but Mamoswine's doing just fine. We Bullet Punch. Okay. Can someone explain to me why Pex took less from Earthquake than Mega Medicham did? Slurpuff does eat the Citrus Berry, gets the Unburden boost, knocks it out, but Palafin in his baby form has Lumberry. A switch out to Hydreigon. On Calm Mind, you can Calm Mind again, maybe. Why don't we Calm Mind again? Like, what's the risk there? Jet Punch range, I suppose? Yeah, you would be in Jet Punch range. But fair enough, yeah. But that's gonna be game. Palafin does live the +1 T-Bolt into the poison. And able to clean it up with the Jet Punch. Game 4. Alright. We have Slick Panther versus Wombo. Alright, Wombo's been using this draft almost exclusively, I want to say, for the entire season. It is colorful, I'll give you that. But Slick pulling up with this Mega Pidgeot build. Not the same team he used last week, so we'll see. And here's Rotom Wash into the Mega Medicham. You have a Spiritomb, so just gonna go to it, right? But Wombo's prepared, has that Toxic to hit the Spiritomb, put it on a timer. We'll see if this Spiritomb is like rest or anything, but here a Hidden Power Ground, I want to assume, into like Max Spadef Heatran, it looks like. So Heatran should be able to get rocks up here as Rotom Wash comes in, but because we're Max Spadef Heatran, if you have Toxic here, you could just go for it. Light Screen Rotom though. Dual Screens Rotom is going to get Magma Stormed, and with Protect it's pretty riskless here. Stalled a Screen Turn, you can't get out of there. With a Hard Switch you have to Volt. And now it's like... I almost want to say the Heatran is not forced out, but switches anyways into Superior as Nihilego comes in. No Meteor Beam this gen, so can just go to our Lando as rocks go up. And we've spent pretty much all of our screen turns not really accomplishing too much, and they're gone now. We defog expecting the switch, but the HP Ice allows you to stay in and 2-hit KO it with the Power Gem after. Now Hoopa comes in. Gonna go for Hyperspace Fury, and the Medicheck is now, or Medi-Switchin' I should say, is now dead. Interesting. Pidgeot comes in, threatening a U-turn with minus defense. Goes for Hurricane instead though, and allows the Heatran in for free. So there's the HP ground, but rocks do go back up. Can Protect here for some lefties, and then probably... You don't have a good switch in. Maybe Mamoswine? Yeah, we go Mamoswine, try to get some Ice Shard chip. We HP ground, allow the free switch in. Is that AV Mamo? That did nothing. We knock off the the Rotom, but don't want to risk it being faster. Goes Hard Serp, looks that Leaf Storm, knocks it out, and now Nihilego able to revenge kill, but we have the Heatran, which is kind of a hard wall to Nihilego in this gen. By hard wall, I mean it forces HP ground. But, gonna get rocks instead. Does HP ground kill from 51? Okay, definitely would have, right? But now we have Magma Storm, we have Protect here. And it's gonna lose when we go into the Heatran. Unless we get like a max roll or a crit. We actually get a double Protect on the Heatran, so even better for Wombo. Now Lando comes in, but Lando, there's no ground resist, so just let the Heatran go. Makes sense. Now Medicham comes in. Medicham will live any hit. 50% is insane. Ice Punch comes out, but the Yachi saves the Lando, but we get frozen! And we do not thaw. Greedy recover there, but gonna mean this Medi exits the sequence at full HP, basically. And now Pidgeot's in. Can go for Hurricane. Should kill the Medicham, so fair enough. But now Hoopa's in. Is this Choice Scarf Hoopa? It is Choice Scarf Hoopa. It's going to knock out the Pidgeot straight from 75. It's pretty strong. But now, Celestia versus the World. Could we see an Autotomize set win? We do see the Autotomize. And now we have the Z move into the Hoopa. It's going to be Z Air Slash or Fly. It's going to be Z Air Slash. We see the special attack boost. Mammoth's comes in. Does Ice Shard kill here? It does not kill. Flash Cannon knocks it out, and now it looks like Wombo just got reverse swept by Celesteela. The Copa Berry, but it goes down. And that's going to be the game. I want to say the Copa Berry would have been useful when it was only +1 and not +2, but who's to say? Who's to say? And now Slick wins that one, and I believe that puts the series at 3-1, right? Fago's won, Nim, and Slick. Yeah, 3-1 in a must-win series for the Huge Power. So they basically are they able to tie and make it? I think they can tie and make it, but they need to go like pretty positive in these last 4 games. All right, Sablo versus Lax. Got a Raging Bolt with the Sun, so a Photosynthesis boost. We have Terra Poison. This is to be better into the Pecharunt, although makes you significantly worse into Deoxys and Gliscor. And a Taunt Gliscor looks pretty annoying, maybe. Maybe you could just spam U-turn into Weavile and it's okay. But I don't know if I would be... Poison here. I feel like that's a little bit suspect. On the other side, we have Fairy Gliscor, which looks pretty Thanos, and Terra Steel Arch, so it could be like a choiced Arch, looking for that stab damage boost, maybe, or it's just like a Metal Coat. Metal Coat plus the Terra Steel is like stronger than Choice Specs, like by a decent margin too. But we'll see. Raging Bolt is going to lead off into the Archaludon. You kind of want to Terra Poison in front of this guy. Should be a trade of Draco Meteors here. It'll be the Eject Pack. Means your Draco lands in a Gliscor instead. But it's also Eject Pack, so... Alright, like mines, huh? Now Protect Gliscor, able to get some Poison Heal, stall out some Sun. Makes a lot of sense. And now Arachnid's going to come in on the Weather Ball. Only does 27. Could potentially get Webs up here, force a Defog. Just goes for Liquidation instead and does literally nothing. But Gliscor comes in on the U-turn. Gonna net gain HP out of this, but allows the Great Tusk in for free. We actually see that this Ninetales is not Heat Rock. So substitute Great Tusk, able to sub up. Heavy Slam breaks the Pecharunt Balloon, and the Pecharunt's actually slower than Great Tusk. I really don't like when Petcharunts run this like minus speed thing. Or not minus speed, but like they're not fast into the Tusk match. I feel like you really need to be. But now Arch comes in, gets the rocks up. Rocks trade as a T-Wave comes out on the Screamtail, and Araquanid comes in on the full para. Not that it super mattered, not gonna lie. Yeah, Liquidation does nothing, and it's an eject button, a Screamtail, into Corviknight, turning Brave Bird, and it's just gonna click it. And down goes the Araquanid. Really feels like we could have gotten Pecharunt there, but it's cool. Now we get a free switch to Terrapagos for the spin opportunity. So, not too bad. Does allow the defog in kind. But now, T-Bolt's going to kill the Corviknight, and progress has been made. Raging Bolt comes in, takes the Terra Starstorm, but Shell is still active, so it has to go for a T-Wave to really get any permanent progress on that. Now Draco into Gliscor does not KO. And Gliscor can kind of just click Earthquake there, but chooses not to. Maybe thinks he's slower than the Raging Bolt. Could be Choice Scarf, maybe? Maybe that's what you're predicting here, but even more importantly, you get Rocks up for free in the sequence. Now Gliscor goes down, which is fine, I think. No. Yeah, definitely tired today, more than usual. A full para on the Shell Break. Wait, Terrapagos just freaking dies like that, so this is like Specs Ninetales. Pecharunt just dies to that. Whoa, Specs Ninetales is going crazy right now. Now Deoxys, we're gonna sack Raging Bolt, which is fine. Oh, the Nasty Plot, things are getting interesting. I'm gonna go Weavile. Is this Scarf Weavile? It is Scarf Weavile. 1, 2, 3 hits on the Deoxys, doesn't kill. T-Bolt does kill. Screamtail, can it live a +2 hit? So T-Bolt, Nasty Plot, you probably want to be Psycho Boost or Psychic or something like that. What's the last coverage move? I feel like you really want Shadow Ball or Focus Blast for like Boots Weavile. This is Shadow Ball. Screamtail might just die, and this might be a Deoxys sweep. Oh, but it is only Thunderbolt, so Psychic Fang's gonna pick it off, and now it's Arch versus the World. It's already at half HP. It's slower than a Specs Ninetales, and that's gonna be the game. Wow. So Sablo with the upset win over Lax keeps his team in the series, and now it's gonna be 3-2. EP, yeah, a little bit. Alright, now we go into game 6. It's going to be Avocado versus the Soviet Onion. And I remember going over this game as like while the week was going on, and like this is the important game. Like as long as the other two games go as expected, this is going to be the swing for who makes playoffs, is this game right here. So this is an important one. And because it's so important, I'm going to go get a little bit of water. So I'll be right back. Finally, some peace and quiet. Chill on me, maybe. Is White back here? No, he's still deafened. Alas. But yeah, this is a major swing game in the series, so this could decide who makes playoffs. Alright, Terra types, we have Fairy on the Hydrapple and the Mismagius. On the other side, we have Terra Steel on the Urshifu. That'll be interesting. Alright. Is this also Terra Aloe? I remember there was a Terra Aloe somewhere, and yes, this is Terra Aloe, it's Terra Water. So probably not intending to Terra that guy. Alright, let's get into it. Duraludon gonna lead off into the Terrapagos. We've seen like Eject Pack before from this team. So is this like Draco Eject Pack? Break the shell and get out? No, it's Focus Energy. Okay, Focus Energy gonna mean that Dracos are always critting. Here's a crit through the shell. Is a 2-hit KO with the next Draco. We see a Terra Starstorm. Doesn't quite kill, but it does do a lot. And yeah, Terrapagos goes down to the Duraludon, but it does get rocks up for its trebles. And yeah, Ice Beam gonna finish that off. So 1-for-1 trade Duraludon for Terrapagos, but Terrap did get rocks up. And there is no Corviknight. It was benched here, right? This is a Corviknight team. Yeah, Corviknight, Toxapex, and Ogerpon. Or Ogerpon is here, yeah. Hexcorv are benched in favor of a more offensive style. But now Hydrapple in. Gonna go for the Terra Fairy Dragon Pulse as Zapdos comes in, but that's gonna be like max Spadef Zapdos. So totally comfortable staying in on the Hydrapple there. Goes for Hurricane, misses, connects the next one as Landers gets the rocks up. And now Aloe's going to come in here, try to absorb like a Rock Slide, but instead a Swords Dance comes out. Really aggressive play, going to be rewarded with Big Chip on the Aloe, and it's actually a checked button. So, Big Chip, and you have to switch out, take rocks on the Iron Bundle. And the Landers gets to live here, because you have an AV Hydrapple. That gets frozen! Oh no! But it thaws immediately, so a little greedy to stay in there from the Soviet Onion. I get it though. And Hydrapple immediately thaws. This brings up a question I've had for a little bit. If it's a turn 1 unthaw, who actually got haxed? Think about it. Now Urshifu comes in, is definitely going to Terra Steel Iron Head here. Or Terra Blast, sure, avoid some helmets. That's fine. But now Ogerpon Hearthwind comes in, threatening the Ivy Cudgel. We know this is leftover, it's not Akaberry, so it's going to be an Infernape switch in, knocks off the Rocky Helmet on bulky Infernape. But now Zen Headbutt, we're prepared for this. As U-turn, going to bring this Ogerpon a little bit lower, but we don't have anything faster than Ogerpon, so like, this is a little bit scary for Soviet Onion. Hurricane comes out, gets Big Chip on the Mages, but a Pain Split could come. We're going to sack our Infernape to just alleviate the pressure a little bit. Now Urshifu comes in, gets Wisped on the Swords Dance, so net neutral turn. But now what? Miss Mage is going to go for Pain Split. It's just going to die to Wicked Blow, right? Yeah, it goes down to Wicked Blow quite comfortably. And now the question is, if Meowscarada comes in, we switch to Aloe. Now, why did we switch to Aloe? You're gonna see Thunder Punch come out. Kills the Aloe. And now we just go back to our Shifu for it to not kill. Maybe knockoff killed from the higher range of HP. But it does feel like... Yeah, that was Choice Band and Meowscarada. 58 to Zapdos. Insane. 60. Wow. And now Ogerpon just finishes it off. Yeah. Imagine if that Wicked Blow's that plus. That's what I'm saying, right? I can't help but think this was tossed away. Which is really tough because that guy needed to win for his team. Minus defense nature Zapdos? Yeah, looks like it, right? 60 from a Meowscarada T-Punch? Insane. So Avocado putting his team in a prime position to win the series. At this point, what's our record looking like? 1-1, 2-1 dogs, 3-1 dogs, 3-2, 4-2. 4-2 for the dogs. And now we have the last two games remaining. Josh versus who's this? Josh versus Garf. And then our other game is going to be Haba versus Sharky. Now here's the thing, right? We expect these two games to be 1-1, but that's no longer good enough for Huge Power. They need to win both of them. But Josh is very good as a player, so he's game 7. He's going to be the one to put Haba in position to lose, or I guess Sharky in position to clutch, right? If he wins this. Let's see. It is Oras. It's going to be lead Mega Gardevoir versus the Torn T. Generally a good lead. Oh, it's not Mega Gardevoir. It's Mega T-Tar on this build, right? This is a regular Gardevoir, which has traced regen and also is double status. You see it burned the Lumberry, missed a Will-O-Wisp on the Rock's turn, but hits the next one, lives the Meteor Mash, gets Citrus Berry and regen here. So Gardevoir able to stay relatively healthy, and with the burn, now Drill can come in for free and spin. So not a whole lot actually lost for that progress. Stoy's going to come in, that's fine. Is not Rocky Helmet, it's leftovers, okay? Gonna Scald into the Torn, which reveals to be Assault Vest, which is kind of there to help into opposing Torn and Hydreigon, but now U-Turn comes out. Gardevoir gonna trace the regen once more, and this time probably just gonna go for a Moonblast. I feel like Moonblast is just good progress. But yeah, Moonblast is a Metagross with a Burn Chip. That's gonna be a kill next time it's in. The double to Diancie, but Uxie was the one to come out. Could be carrying Iron Tail here. Gonna click U-Turn, but maybe not willing to risk the Iron Tail just yet. Gonna switch to Torn to Scout. Catches another U-Turn into Gardevoir, another regen, trace, another Moonblast opportunity. Crit U-Turn. I mean, it's helpful, right? But I'm gonna regen that off. Now Diancie comes in, goes for a Moonblast as Drill comes in. Could be threatening an Earth Power, so I probably want to see a pivot out into the Uxie, and that's exactly what we see. Into another U-Turn? Yeah, there's another U-Turn. Diancie could just stay in here. I feel like if you had Iron Tail, you would have clicked it one of those 3 times, maybe. So, pretty safe to stay in on the 4th U-Turn. Now, Torn comes in. This could definitely be HP Steel. It is HP Steel, but the Grand Bull able to shrug it off despite being weak to it. So Max Spidef Grand Bull with T-Wave, but allows the Drill in. Could be carrying Earthquake on this Grand Bull or Superpower. I think Superpower is maybe more likely into this draft. And now Gardevoir comes in, takes a Scald, but it has not traced the regen, so any chip here is permanent. See, Rest Blastoise, it's not Chesto though, so forced to rely on Sleep Talk rolls here. Just gonna get a Rapid Spin. Feels like Gardevoir can just stay in and Moonblast again, which it is going to into the opposing AV Torn. So both Torns AV in this matchup. Torn checking Torn. Yeah, this is so boring, dude. And now Granbull gonna dodge the Hurricane to get a Super Fang off. Right, predicting a switch there into Drill, but now we're gonna see U-Turn into Drill. Catches a close combat. It's a really good play from Garf there. Catches the switch, but now Drills in, goes for an Earthquake. Garf again catches the play with the Earthquake into Torn. Now we just U-Turn on the opposing Torn to get another Grand Bull turn. See a U-Turn into who though? Uxie on the T-Wave. Yeah, 100% accurate in Oras, so don't have to worry about missing T-Wave. But now Super Fangs into the Rocky Helmet Uxie. And now T-Tar is going to come in. Does T-Tar kill the Grand Bull from here? I have to assume it does. Mega T-Tar is very strong, yeah, especially with Iron Head going to knock it out. But Grand Bull got a lot done there. Diancie comes in. It won't come close to killing this T-Tar, but I guess we just don't have anything that does kill it. So gonna have to give up an extra Pokemon there just to chip the T-Tar in range of Hydreigon. And there's that Superpower. But Torn can shrug that off, no problem. It's a pretty free U-Turn as Blastoise comes in, and that should be like a Keldeo entry point at this point. Maybe Gardevoir. Sure, Gardevoir's fine too. You're gonna switch to Torn. I feel like using Gardevoir like this, you're never getting the regen because Torn's switching in on you, not the other way around. So the guard is gonna end up pretty low after all this. Drill comes in on a U-Turn. Yeah, a lot of U-Turns going on here. But we have Gardevoir now coming in on the Torn, but with the ability to click Hurricane in that scene, it's still net damage as we go into Torn on the knockoff. Knockoffs are traded, gets rid of both Assault Vests. Now what? It appears that Josh's Torn is faster, unless I missed one of the turns and they're actually speed tied. But Gardevoir comes in, absorbs the U-Turn, gonna regen that off as well. Hydreigon in. Goes for another U-turn. Shout out to Draft League, guys. What do we click here? We're clicking U-turn. We're covering semis today? No chance. No. Hurricane, do we connect the next one? We're going to see a U-turn maybe? A knockoff, and like... Josh gets some Hurricane, gets a Confusion, but no full Confusion. Now a U-turn, catches the Hydreigon switch, really nice from that. Now Keldeo in, can go for a Secret Sword. It's just going to knock out the Hydreigon. I think that is Scarf Keldeo. And now Uxie, going to be the sack of choice to Hurricane into U-turn. Opposing Torrent just keeping the regen, very high HP stat. But now Blastoise comes in. We go T-Tar on the Blastoise just because we can. Love that. Is this... Yeah, you can go for a rest here as Blastoise. Gardevoir going to pivot in. Okay, not resting there is strange to me. I feel like you need your Pokemon alive to win this game. And here, we're going for Rocks plays. But, like, the Metagross switching is the spinner. So, like, it's not a winning battle here for Garf. And I think Josh has this one in the bag. It's now 5-2. The only remaining threat is that Torn. So, should be able to handle it somewhat well. Torn on Torn, gonna get that Hurricane Confusion. Hurricane Confusion. Love the Torn Mirror. We're gonna see a switch to Gardevoir, fishing for some odds, but not gonna get it. Immediately connects the Hurricane, and maybe this Torn can do something. Opposing Torn comes in, goes for the Hurricane, misses the Blastoise. And now after the lefties, it doesn't even kill, but only goes for a rest. And you probably are not connecting 3 Hurricanes, so Blastoise essentially walls this guy. Now you knock off the leftovers, and now it's like a little bit dicey, especially Sleep Talking rest twice, but Hurricane can always miss. And Scald can always burn. No burn. But yeah, this is looking scary. How are we breaking this Blastoise? We see a Scald and a Keldeo. Do we see a burn? This is like Scarf Keldeo. Yeah, locks in a Scald, but that's fine. We can go back to Blastoise, rest if we ever get burned. Heatar comes in on the Scald. A crit, no burn. Is faster. That's important. Ugh. I am tired, man. Let me go back here. So, we Scald the Torn, Scald into Blastoise. Now T-Tar comes in. Set the Sand, which is important chip. Gets Crunch on the Blastoise. We see a rest. We do see a rest. Yeah, breaking this Blastoise is really hard. Especially when you have Torn to scout the Keldeo lock. If it ever clicks Secret Sword, then Torn gets a kill. Maybe Garf can do this. Let's see. Torn comes out. Hurricane, 37. Gets the Confusion. Sleep. Oh, hits yourself. Forced to rest here. You have to break through. Gets it through. Okay. Blastoise back to full. You need to connect 3 Hurricanes in a row. There's one. No more Confusion. Sleep Talk gets a spin. Useless. Another Hurricane. Need one more after this. And we connect all 3. And now it's Torn in, but at this point the Scarf Keldeo in the back should have it wrapped up. And Josh manages to break through that Blastoise eventually, but man, made him work for it. And now we go on to game 8 for the decider. This is for Huge Power's whole season, right? If Sharky wins this one, they go to playoffs. If he loses, they're out. I'm pretty sure that's all there is to this game. And Habita, not going to give it to him for free. let's do a little bit more in-depth on this one. So Torrent's going to be Terra Flying. Previously against Iron Valiant matchups, we have seen Haba use Scarf Terra Flying Torn as like an always check to that thing. And here, it makes a lot of sense as well. So I would expect to see that. The Chi-Yu is quite interesting. There's only really Tentacruel and Mandibuzz that can even hope to come in on it, really. Maybe you can pivot in the Valiant on a Dark move. That's like somewhat reasonable. But yeah, Chi-Yu is a massive threat to this team. Latios is pretty scary too, right? Like Luster Purge, Draco, Misto Fire. Pretty strong stuff from Haba's side offensively and defensively. Something that is kind of scary into this team though is that Haxorus, something like a Swords Dance Scale Shot. And we see the Terra Electric on it. Terra Blast Electric does feel really hard to beat as Habita. So maybe that's part of why you have that Scarf Torn. You have that like foul play in the back, that Terra Blast strong hit. Just as Haxorus insurance, I know in similar matchups we would see physically defensive Ting Lu as like the Haxorus check. Now here it is Terra Electric, so that probably works a little bit better than usual. So that is nice. But we'll see. This does look pretty favorable for Habita, I'm not gonna lie. It looks like Terra Fairy on the gold as well. Latios leads off into Deoxys Speed. Could just fire off a Draco here. Feels unlikely to go hard Valiant. Just goes for a T-Wave instead, so it's a different kind of Latios set than I was expecting. Like a bulky one. So Shadow Ball T-Wave. Interesting. Shadow Ball's the Mandibuzz for like no damage. We're just gonna T-Wave this? Yeah. So the plan is just spread T-Wave. Make your opponent not move very much. And there's the Ice Beam. Gets big chip on the Mandibuzz with a crit. I don't think the next one will kill. Maybe it will though. I don't know, it's kind of close. Ice Beams into the Tentacruel. And now a double to Goldango on the switch to Corviknight. Okay, fair enough. Get some chip on this guy before you see the slow U-turn, and now Corviknight's at like half. So that's pretty good progress for Sharky. This does open up the Haxorus a little bit, the Iron Valiant, stuff like that. And now the Ruination cuts the Tentacruel's HP in half, but is still going to be forced out. We see a flip turn. Corviknight's getting very low. It's Rocky Helmet, so a little bit of chip, but now Haxorus comes in. Do we see the Terra Electric, Terra Blast? We see a Swords Dance and Brave Bird. So now you can go for a Scale Shot pretty safely as the Haxorus. As long as you don't get 2 hits, this Corviknight's dead. We do get 2 hits though, that sucks. Survives for another day, and now you can just go into Ting Lu. And after that U-turn chip, I mean, it's gonna force us out. Mandibuzz comes in, but gonna allow rocks to go up in exchange for the Roost. And that Spike to go up in exchange for the Toxic. I feel like that definitely favors Habita. Unless this defog's right now, but I don't think it's going to be defog. Yeah. We're getting like max layers now pretty soon. Toxpix comes in on the Swords Dance. The Valiant not booster is Swords Dance. We're going to sack the Latios, scout out what this wants to be. It's going to be Thunder Punch with Life Orb +2. So that would have done so much to the Pex. Probably killed it. But now the Torn able to come in, go for that Terra Blast, force it out. Goldango onto the field. Is Terra Fairy, so has that tool in the bag. Especially with Light Screen here. Can just Terra Fairy here if you want to. But instead going to go Mandibuzz on the Ruination. Maybe threading a Defog. But again, I don't know if you have Defog. Knock, Toxic, Roost. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. Pulpera. What's the last move on this Mandibuzz? Whirlwind, so no defog. These hazards basically here to stay because Tentacruel, I believe, dies to the 2 Spike and Rock. And now you have Terra Blast in front of a Paramon that doesn't really fight back. There's a Toxic. We have chance to Terra here, potentially. Okay, switching is, I feel like you needed to Roost there because now your Mandibuzz is like basically dead. Make it rain into Chi-Yu, but Chi-Yu, one of the best Goldango counters in the Draft League format. And now it's just going to force a KO here. It's going to use Tentacruel. Now Valiant comes in, could potentially go for another Sword Stance for another KO opportunity as the Pex comes in. Does hit the Sword Stance again, knowing that Chiyu is too valuable to sack. But all this really does is earn that that Corviknight sack that was at 2% anyways, so really not the end of the world for Habita. Now, Michael's cousin just probably going to go for a Terra Blast here. I don't think you need to overcomplicate it. With like 3 hazards up and Goldango already pretty low. I guess it's Boots. You can just take your guaranteed chip. Yeah, because he has to double to Valiant to not allow the Chiyu in, and now you still have the Pex, right? It's going to get 2 KO'd, but with Life Orb, and here, hold on. I'm going to talk about this turn a little bit. Close combat. You are probably surprised to see a close combat there. And you know what? So am I. What was that even for? I think Sharky had to be assuming that the Ting Lu is coming in on the next T-Punch to regen farm and then a pivot back to Pex. Right? On the CC/Moonblast. I guess it would be CC, right? But you can make that play and Life Orb stall a little bit. But yeah, this is definitely a strange CC. Kind of predicting something that's like a little out there, right? And the recover comes off, and now it's like, okay. We can recover to full, sure. The T-Punch just barely doesn't kill. And we haze. So Pex is basically dead. I don't think you can regen this off necessarily. Haxorus has to come in and like leftovers Haxorus. Surely we had better prep than that, right? Available. So Lefties is there mainly so that you can long-term beat the Corviknight, I suppose. Like set up on it. Like imagine Boots here, right? Imagine loaded dice. It would have killed the Corv earlier. And then you'd be up an entire sack at this point, because the Valiant would have earned a different kill. Man. Here's a low kick on the Ting Lu. Sure, why not? And now Manabuzz in to try to roost on this. To be fair, it is hard to kill the Manabuzz, but there's only 4 roosts left. And you can just Terra Blast here, it does decent damage, and like, eventually you can just switch out, gets to your regen farm. Because your Ting Lu is like really useless right now. You can use it to like farm a little bit. Looks like that's not what we're going for here. We're just trying to get some chip. And yeah, here we're gonna sack the Lu. Surely you can just ruin here. Because Manabuzz is running really low on roosts. Yeah, only 1 roost left. Dodges the ruination. So maybe he can do it. Give me Terra Fairy here. And Light Screen. Sure. There's 2 special attackers left. But it's gonna just kill with Overheat, yeah. Now it's Manabuzz versus the world, but it's like Ruination is just too strong. You only have 1 roost. And this Light Screen won't last forever. Terra's unlucky, but okay, that's unlucky too. You'd have to roost, and then I think Chiyu still wins. That's the thing. Because you only have that 1 roost, and then it's Flame 2 at KO as you can't kill the Chiyu with Knock plus Toxic. So I think Haba always had this one. And with that, Huge Power is eliminated from DPL. So, well played from the big dogs. They get the first seed out of this, and as such, they get their pick of opponent in the semifinals. Now, we still have 2 series to go for week 7. However, I'm a little tired. So I'm going to call it here. We've done 3 series here. I kind of want to chop up the first 2 series and make like a stream highlight video, just more so focused on Trick of Eye and like, because it is back to back there. I think it would be like a decent upload. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.